All right. Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday. It's feeling like spring out there, right? So today we are going to do strings, a trio. That would be a cello, violin, and viola. And so the string downbeat is at 11 a.m. So we got a couple hours to set up and then talk to John Fellner, who wrote the strings and played on the piece as well. And Saveria is going to come and hang as well. So what we're going to do now is Simon's just going to take the session. He's done a little bit of work, I think, previously just for class examples, but roughly it's like it was when we finished recording. So what I wanted Simon to do is show you how you would prep for a string session, which in a lot of ways sometimes is like if you're going to do vocals, especially like a pop session, you're really just trying to minimize everything down to an instrumental and then add new tracks. So it just allows you to minimize extraneous stuff that you don't need to look at right now. For the most part, the players are going to be okay with hearing the track. Obviously, John had put strings in there before, which we will take out. So Simon's going to go through all that. Myself and the interns are going to set out the mics on the floor. So we're going to play into the wooden area, so to keep it a little bit live and see how that works. And we're going to, the miking setup is going to be on the violin, a Royer, and a KM184. It's going to be one or the other kind of situation. It's not like a blend, probably. And same thing for the viola, and then the cello is the 387. And that way we got some choices on the 387 as far as like the tone setting, forward or neutral or gentle. So some large diaphragm, typically that can pick up a kind of expansiveness and some low end. Usually the 2247 is good. Anything that you would put on like kind of a bass amp or something like that. I usually use for cello. So that's the idea. Now we're obviously keeping 6 feet apart. Usually they may want to be a little tighter than that because again they do feed off each other. They're listening to each other. But all things considered, this should be perfectly fine. And then we're going to use the 414s and MS back in the Nook, the 3DO, and P12s up high. So we don't have a huge room, but we're going to see what we can get with those kind of different mics there. And that will be it. There's a couple, there's one, the strings are written as one piece, and then there's a second violin part right now. So, but we'll talk about that when John gets here. So what we're going to do is, we're going to split screen it. I'm going to go out on the floor, and Simon's going to be in here kind of narrating. And then at some point, we'll have you come by and kind of check out the setup. And if there's any questions, just let us know. So we're going to get to it. All right. I'm here. All right. All right. You got me. I got you, babe. Dum, 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 dum. The real ones know. So what I'm trying to do first before anything else here that I said before, but maybe no one heard me, get rid of the strings. We had some fake strings in there that John did, and I got rid of those because we're not, like, John just kind of roughed those in. He was sort of just did his John thing where he's like, oh, I don't know, I'll just try something down on the keyboard, and it sounded great. But then he actually went home, sat down, and wrote it. We'll talk to him about that later. I'm just trying to make sure that things are generally sorted by color. If I do my Control Option Command down arrow, which shows as many tracks as it can vertically, you'll see that there's a lot going on here. I like to have red for my drums, blue for my bass, and then I do my keyboard stuff, synthesizers, anything like that, piano, that's all going to be in yellow, and then guitars in orange, and then vocals in purple. So what I'm going to do is, I like how that is, and I'm going to part this all out. What I'm going to send to the console is just tracks 1 and 2 on the console are going to be the drums, 3 and 4 is going to be all the music stuff, and then instrumentals, and then 5 and 6 vocals, and then the strings we record will be on 7 and 8. So first thing I want to do is look at my tracks here. So click track is my first one. Click track I'm going to send to track 9 on the console because the click track will need on its own track so that we can send it to the headphone mix. So I'll deal with that first, send that out to number 9. Number 9. And that, the click track's really important on this song for the strings because there's not always a drum beat happening. We got to make sure that they know exactly where to play. Now my drums, I've got a lot of submixes going on here, but I already subbed this all to a bus called Drums All.
So everything that's in red goes to some sort of submix, but all roads lead to the drums all bus. So I'll have a quick listen, just make sure they sound okay level-wise. Get my level up here.
Spend my day.
Just going through making sure everything sounds okay. I got a percussion loop as well. Pretty cool. It's funny when you work on a session. I mean, you heard us kind of work on the entire thing and see where it was born out of, and then you sort of forget about it after listening to it so much, and then you come back to it and you realize, like, hey, it's actually not that bad. We did some pretty cool stuff. So these drums are going to 1 and 2 right now. We talked about this in class. What I would do right now to ease the system a little bit, there's a few things I'm going to do. First thing I'm going to do is tab through on my drum loop here, because you'll see there's a lot of edits on this track. I just want to make sure that it's not constantly trying to pull new files from the hard drive every time it comes to an edit point. So I'm just going to kind of go through these. I'm highlighting the clip and then using the arrow to go to the beginning and end of the clip. Just checking that all out. And I can also just tab through. There's not a lot of crossfades. There are some crossfades. So I just tabbing through there. What I'm going to do is, first step, delete my fades. So you go Edit, Fades, Delete. And then one of the tricks I like to have up my sleeve is using Beat Detective just for editing. So you can obviously use Beat Detective to cut your drums, conform your drums, and then smooth the editing. I like to just use it to smooth my editing. So now I know 100% that that has all the fades it needs. I'm going to duplicate the playlist, Control, Command, \, and call this drum loop. I like to put a money sign and then consolidate. So now it's good. There's just one, chunk of audio, one clip for everything there. And I'm going to do the same with the other ones. The reason I left those edits open during the session was we were still deciding on form of the song and where we were going to do certain things. So I just like to, now I can kind of like say, okay, that's our drum part. I don't need to change it. But if someone does ask, I can always show my other playlist, and you'll see that I've got it all available here. So same thing on this other track. I'm just going to delete my fades. The reason I delete my fades is that Beat Detective does not like when you have any fades in there and then you try to smooth your edits. It gets mad, and it says the selection must not contain crossfades. I don't know. Whatever, Beat Detective. So got all my fades, and now I'm going to duplicate, money sign, consolidate. Good. These ones should be pretty easy here. I'm just going to do batch fades there, and same on this. And same thing, duplicate, consolidate, duplicate, consolidate, duplicate, consolidate, and duplicate, consolidation station. These ones are looking okay. That's just one clip that was given to me. I don't need to worry about those ones. This one, I will double check the edits. Those need edits. It's got a fade, got a fade, got a fade. All right. And what do? Repeat after me. Duplicate, name, and consolidate. Finally, we got these percussion loops here. Delete my fades. Use Beat Detective to make fades. Duplicate. I could do an infomercial. Duplicate, consolidate. So this is all of this is going to help with our session performance. Obviously, the system in this studio is pretty high quality, and it's going to be able to handle this. But the session is at 96K, which is hefty for a sample rate. And I just want to make sure that everything I can possibly do to make it run smoother, I do. And now what I'm going to do is freeze this drum submix. Hit the freeze button, wait for it to render. Fantastic. Now, freezing it is great because now I can just get rid of everything that was leading to that. All the drums going to that drums all bus and to that drums all submix, I now don't have to worry about. It doesn't crowd my session or anything. The problem is if someone says, oh, can you change something in those drums? I do have to show those tracks again, unfreeze, make my edits, etc., etc. So taking a bit of a risk there, but hopefully we won't have to deal with that. My sub bass track here has the little Alter Boy plugin on it. Very nice. So because it's got the little Alter Boy plugin on it, doing some pitch shifting here, this plugin, if I command click on my volume, causes 5,971 samples of delay. So that's going to be a problem. When the string players are playing, they're going to hear things. Everything's going to have latency, and it's going to be a big disaster. So go ahead, freeze that. And I've got my music. So everything that's not drums or vocals or strings is going to go to 3 and 4 on the console. So I'm just going down the list here, making sure everything is going where it needs to go. So sub bass will go to 3 and 4 on the console, which is turned up. So next up is our keyboard stuff. Make these tracks a little bit bigger here. You'll notice some of these are going to outputs 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Some of them are going to piano sub. Some of this other one going to another piano sub. So I want to make sure that everything here that's going to 1 and 2 is going to go to a overall submix that I'm going to name piano all, or I guess keys all, just in case there's some fake keyboards or something. Like this piano pulse here isn't really technically a piano. It's kind of a synthesizer sound. And then this sound as well, same thing. The 16 millimeter film, I think is what it is on Logic. One of John's favorites. So all the yellow tracks need to go to piano, or I'll call it keys all submix. So piano sub, so we got piano pulse, piano delay. I called the track 8-Bit Ghost, inside joke. Piano sub 1, piano sub 2. So I've got those all highlighted. I'm going to shift option and send that to a new track, and it's going to be a stereo aux track called keys all. So now all my keys come up on this one track. I do have to make sure, because I haven't heard this song in a while, I got to make sure that we have piano everywhere we want piano. And I think that includes, I muted out this spot. So let's see here. I'm going to keep that muted. So it looks like when I was doing the, I was kind of doing just a rough, like, I don't know, I opened the session, I was curious one day, and I thought, what does this piano in the intro sound like if we pitch it down? Something that John and I have been doing a lot lately when we work together. We just like the sound of it. So that means that piano submix is going to have to be frozen. So in this case, I'm actually not going to freeze this keys all submix, because we haven't decided as a group exactly where we're going to be muting the piano, putting the piano in. There's also some sections where the strings actually might prefer to hear the piano so that they can play more in tune. And then later on, we can take them out. So I'll freeze the piano that has the pitch shifter on it. Or actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. I'm just going to bypass that. That's kind of a mix idea. It's something that's there for later. If I make that plugin inactive, we can just deal with it after. So as long as these keys are going to the music submix, which is 3 and 4, then we should be happy. I will hide these tracks, but I will not make them inactive because I still need to hear them. And I'm going to change this track to yellow so I know what it is. All right, next up is guitar stuff. I think the guitar stuff is generally already submixed. We've got, and it's mostly noise. There's actually a really high likelihood of muting this when the strings are playing. The last thing that string players want to hear is a bunch of guitar feedback that's likely not in tune, and they will complain about that. They'll say, listen, it's hard to play to this stuff. This doesn't really help us musically. Sounds cool, and it'll be great in the mix, but musically it's not going to help the string players much. So what I will do, what do I got here? This one is guitar sound cray-cray. Was something that I committed this. You can see it says guitar sound cray-cray.cm, which means that I took a sound we liked, I printed it, and now I just kind of have access to it. So that's this one here. That's fantastic. So I'm going to put that through the guitar submix. Zoom out here real quick. So let's just go like this. So these are all my guitars, and everything's going to the guitar sub. And to keep things consistent, I will call this guitar all. I don't think I'm going to be, I'm either going to be using all of this, all of these parts, or none of them. So I'm just going to freeze that submix so we can get rid of those tracks. Like I said, I don't think we're going to put those in there for the strings. They will not like that. They want something with like a definitive pitch that they can play along to. So now that I've frozen the submix, I don't need any of the tracks leading to it. And I've got guitar all, which I will make orange. And then we've got our vocals. We've got our main vocals, we've got our harmony vocals. So what I'm going to do is the main vocal, I will see how that sounds. I think I need to change, so I have a reverb here on the vocal, but it's a plugin that we don't have in this studio right now. So I'll just change this out for something that's, I don't know, just simple to use. And we'll have a listen to the vocals.
Spend my day with all mankind, smoked my stuff and drank all my wine.
That sounds really nice. What I want to make sure is that it doesn't get too loud later on. It's inevitably going to get loud, but I just want to make sure it's not going to be too much of a discrepancy for the players when they're playing.
It seems like the wrath of the gods got a bunch on the itself. It's not as hard as it seems.
So I'm going to call this Vox main sub, or just Vox main. And I'm going to freeze it just so that I don't have to deal with that reverb track and with the main audio track there. I just want a stereo file of the main vocal, and then I want a stereo submix of the harmony vocals. So the session's already cleaned up pretty nice. We're getting to a nice point here.
Spend my day with all mankind, smoked my stuff and drank all my...
We've got a lot of oohs here. None of these oohs were decided on. This was kind of, if you remember, it was sort of like at the end of the session, we're like yelling at Sav, like, do ooh, and then she's trying to hit it, and we're like, no, do ooh, and yeah, I don't know. It's always a bit of it's always a stressful time for the singer, but she did her best, and we layered in a bunch of parts. These ones, I'm not too concerned about finalizing them. They kind of exist there. This is another thing where we might be muting them when the strings play, because again, these aren't things that are decided, but the string part is written and decided. I will just double check that all my edits are good. We've got fades, top and bottom, fades. I think these ones I already consolidated, but just to be sure here. Whoops. Back end looks good. These ones need a little bit of a fade. I'm just traveling around, making sure they're all, again, these ones, they're not decided on. So the drum part, the loops and stuff were pretty decided on, so I wanted to make sure they were nice and clean. These ones I'm going to leave as is. Again, just like the guitar, we're either going to give all of them or none of them to the strings. So I'll call this Vox Harms, and I will freeze. You'll see I have a lot of volume automation on there. When I freeze the track, I'm still going to be able to change the volume, and I'll still be able to bus it to a different output if I want. So now I can hide and make those inactive, and you'll see I've got all of my tracks just visually represented there. I've also got, oh yeah, we did a thing in the intro where it was just an ooh, I think. Also something we didn't decide on, so for now, I'm just going to get rid of that. I did like this delay throw at the end though. Again, not necessary for the session today. We're just keeping things simple, hide and make inactive. You could make a note there if you wanted to make sure you don't forget that part, but I think we'll be totally fine. Otherwise, I'm just getting rid of, I had some markers here, like add ooh harm, don't need that anymore. We're not doing vocals today. Getting rid of some lead-in markers for punch-ins. Just making sure that I've got essentially just my structural markers. And this is pretty nice. Make sure all our music is going to 3 and 4, so our guitars go to 3 and 4. And then our vocals are all going to be going to 5 and 6. So 5 and 6. So now on the console, Harry's going to have control over all the things he needs control over, including the click track on 9. The other thing that I have to do is I have an input list here given to me by the interns. They decided, Dean told them what mics to use. They made the mic list. We all know about this. And so I'm going to create the tracks for that. The last thing that the players want is for someone to be sitting here creating tracks. So I'm going to do each instrument at a time. We've got 2 tracks for violin, and that's going to be inputs 1 and 2. And I'm going to go, there's 2 mics, so we're going to have 2 choices on each. I'm going to call it violin 1A for mic A, violin 1B for mic B. And then we've got viola on 3 and 4. We're going to go viola. And I always like to put the number in. Even if we think we're only going to do one thing of viola, I always just put number 1, just in case we're going to do a number 2. It always gets confusing if you don't put a number 1, and then you have viola, and then you have viola 2, and then the session order in your audio files can get kind of out of whack. So we'll do 1B. And then on the mics, I'm going to put in what the mics are, KM184. And then on the B mic is our R122. Same thing on these, KM184 and R122. Great mic choices. The cello is going to be input number 5. And again, I'm going to call it cello 1. There's a likelihood that we're going to be duplicating a lot of tracks and layering a lot of these strings too. And that's going to be the Lawton 387. For the R122, the KM184, these are very common microphones in a lot of studios. So I'll just put R122, KM184. They're pretty well known. The Lawton isn't as common, so I'm reminding myself Lawton 387. And then we've got a lot of room mics. We've got the 3 for the MS. And so that's going to be room, I'm going to go room MS left. Actually, I like to go MS. Room left MS, room right MS, and room center MS. I may do the order of those differently. The reason that I like to do, so this is a bit of a tip. I don't like to put the word at the end, like left or right or L or R, personally, because I find it starts to create some problems with track names. I'll give you a small example here. If I have an audio track and it's called Vocal L, and I create a new playlist on that track, it calls it vocal.01L. I like the numbers to be at the end of the takes. It makes more sense, so that's why I'm doing room left MS and room right MS and room center instead of room MS left, room MS right. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I like to do it that way. Then we got 2 more sets of rooms. Hello, Harry.
Hello.
This is Harry, as you can see. 3DIO. So this one, I'm going to go stereo tracks on these, actually. That'll make it a bit cleaner. So we'll go 2 stereo tracks. First one's going to be the room. I'm going to call it the room ears because it's the 3DIO. And then we're going to go room. In this case, so I don't really like to, I find, we talked about this earlier in the year about not naming tracks with microphone names, but when it comes to room mics, because we're doing such a big set here, that's going to be, I'm going to just name them like that for now, and then I'll find out from Dean once he's set them up which ones are close, which ones are medium, which ones are far. But for now, I can leave it like that. 3DIO, and the rooms are all 414s. And this is obviously the P12. Make sure my inputs are all good here. The MS is going to be 8, 9, and 10. So here I'm going to highlight all 3. They're doing center in the middle. So highlight all 3, and then Shift Option Command, and set this one to 8, and it will cascade the inputs on the other tracks, 8, 9, and 10. The ears, the 3DIO, is going to be inputs 6 and 7. That's going to be a problem. The reason inputs 6 and 7 for that are going to be a problem because I can't make a track in Pro Tools that's a stereo track with inputs 6 and 7. It has to be odd and then even. So I can't have a stereo track for that. That's no problem. I'll go to 2 mono tracks, 6 and 7. Room, ears, room left ears, and room right ears. Looking good. All of these as well are going to be, for me, visually in pink so that I know that they're strings. Ooh, that's bright. That is bright. 3DIO. And then all of these string tracks are going to go to, what do I got here? 7 and 8, output 7 and 8 on the board. And that's pretty much it. It's looking pretty good. So the session is, as you can see, much more trim than it was before. We've got the click track there. That'll be great. I'm actually going to put the click track at the top. And yeah, I think we're ready. I am going to group all of these strings as well. I like to group immediately. Group these, call it strings 1. I know that we're going to be doubling up on some things. So that's strings 1. I am also going to duplicate the violin 1A and 1B tracks to create violin 2A and 2B, which we'll be overdubbing. 2A and 2B.
Are you going to set up for triples or doubles?
Whatever you want. I was going to do it on the fly.
Yeah, okay, cool. You're good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll just do my duplicate tracks and all that. So, since the violin 2 is going to be overdubbed, I'm not going to make it part of the same group for now for tracking. That'll make it a little bit. So I got to modify my group down here and just take violin 2 out. But that's pretty much it. What do we think? How's the setup going out there?
Good. Yeah. Yep. Sorry, I was just tuning. Severi's not going to make it. She's got to do vocals today. So.
Okay.
But anyways, just checking message.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, that's
Good.
pretty much it. It's all running to the console. I froze the stuff I needed to. Clicks there. Just made it simple. Anything that you need.
You know what? Let's hear it back, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to try to do that rough mix. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay,
Let's
cool.
see where we're at.
Let's see what it sounds like here. I haven't heard it in a while. I listened to it for a couple times at home, like after it was good. It's good. It's a good piece. I hope.
Spend my day with one and unkind. Smoked my stuff and drank all my wine. Made up my mind, make a new start. Going to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair. Took my chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that they're all the same. Oh, the sea was red and the sky was gray. I wonder how tomorrow could ever follow today. Mountains in the canyon start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to wake. Now watch out. It seems like the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose and it started to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach it in time. Meet you up there where the path runs straight. Find a queen without a king. They say she plays guitar and cries and sings. La 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 la. Ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn. Try to find a woman who's never, never, never been born. Oh, standing on a hill in the mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard, hard, hard as it seems. It's not as hard as it seems.
All right, so we are set up with the mics on the floors. Everything's patched in, so we're going to do a scratch test now. We just want it's at some point, obviously listening back, you do a bunch of cleaning up and see what's going on there. So the one thing that we talked about just right now for Simon is, again, like we talked about, the importance of, right now the session starts at 497. Things happen, and sometimes you actually record linearly like this in chunks and not really playlisting sometimes. And so we just ended up at this bar. But with strings, so they match up if they need to punch in or we need to reference and talk about moving around, it's going to be referred to in bars. So we're going to, I think Simon's going to renumber these.
Yeah.
That way
so-
everything lines up. So Simon's going to take it over.
Yeah, so we need to, so that we can follow along with the sheet music, we're just going to tell Pro Tools, hey, bar 497 is actually not bar 497, it's bar 1. So we're going to go event, renumber bars, and then it says bar 497 becomes bar 1. Keep an eye at the start marker here, and you'll notice the numbers change. And there we go. So now we should have bar numbers that match up with the music, and that'll help us for navigation. Yeah, it should be pretty easy.
Awesome. Yep, perfect.
Also, it's just having to listen through the song there is good to get your bearings. Like Dean and I were saying that we haven't really heard it much in a while. So what I like to do as well as like a just in case things go absolutely the worst they could go, I always print a rough mix. So I just do a quick like bounce to disk. It's happened to me before. Actually, I was recording a bunch of horns and my hard drive failed in the middle of the session. And so nothing would run on the session. I had to take the session, put it on my hard drive, or sorry, on my desktop, and then run it off my desktop. And luckily, we were just recording to rough mixes, so it was easy. So let's go. How am I going to do the bounce to disk here? Because we're going through the console. So.
Oh, at this point?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is
just.
I'm going to do a save as.
Yeah, you could go just back to 1 and 2 and do it internally. If it's
Yeah,
easier.
exactly. So I'm going to go. So I'm going to do is save this as rough mix print.
But we'll set up to print one back.
And
in
then
at the end of the
I'm
session.
just going. All my outputs here.
Okay.
External freeze.
So, okay, cool.
All my outputs I'm just going to send out to 1 and 2. Actually, I'm just going to send them to an audio track.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I can't believe that thing. Yeah.
One. We'll go 1 and 2. Everything's going to go out 1 and 2, and then I'm going to bounce to disk. Physical output 1 and 2. 2496 going to California _ rough mix.
Is it because they don't have like sauna? Okay, sauna. I was just thinking like a lot of European countries don't have air conditioning. A heat wave comes through, so it's just.
And then I'm going to re-import that back into the session. So actually, where did I put that? Bounce to disk. It is not where I want it to be. I'm going to put it on the desktop. So I want to import that back in. I'll just hide and make it inactive.
All right, so I can go.
So, and also I did a separate session for the rough mix print. So I'm going to open the more recent one where we were all set up on the console. And then import desktop rough mix. Good to go. New track.
All right, cool. So we're all.
And there's my rough mix, just in case. Again, that's like a just in case type of scenario.
Is the only one that's the right side
And that's it.
Coming in line in.
Okay.
Everything else, so one.
Phantom's already on and ready to
Phantom's
go?
already gone, ready to go.
Pluses, no.
I actually wanted to check with you. I don't need to send like Phantom 2 sides of the Y cable, right? I don't. I feel like that would double charge.
No, I think you would need to because
would
it's
need to?
split, right? Because they're splitting from.
Well, they're being.
So the mics go into separate inputs, or no? They go to them. They're split there, right?
I think. Well, I don't think we would, and
Okay.
it might be an idea to try it before.
Yeah.
and
We'll
then,
only
like-
do one side.
So the Neves won't have Phantom.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They won't be giving Phantom.
Because they're not two separate, they're only separate from the panel.
Yeah, exactly.
So the panel is where it's wide. So if it's coming out, no, the panel, so Phantom from here is going to the panel, and then it's split.
Put it this way: the capsule's
Yeah.
charged either way, right?
Yeah.
Which is all that really matters.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah, you'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If we end up
Worst
needing
case
to do
scenario,
something-
we won't do this first. All right, cool.
Cool. So I'll go
right,
and do some
Sounds
practice.
good. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do a scratch test. You got the bouncer good?
Yeah.
You good to go? Okay, awesome. Yeah, with the session this size, the scrolling around and just the less you have to deal with and things being frozen. Like the freeze function is one of the best things Avid's done. See, I said that. Avid did something really good. Although you could freeze in Ableton for probably 10 years before that.
Hey, whoa.
Oh,
But you couldn't comp in Ableton until 2021.
Yeah, that's true. Fair, tit for tat. That's right, touche.
Kevin's
All right.
all gonna do scratches.
All right,
Bring up.
all right. Kev's there. So you're going to be engineering. So Harry's I'm just going to call things out, and I'll stand here and listen like I'd like to do. All right, Kev. So let's start with Violin. And we'll have everybody come in. You can see out there the kind of setup. So let's start with the KM184 there, sir. Yeah. Sounds good. Do the Royer. Okay, so one thing, as I'm talking to Kevin, so Simon's got everybody on input. We're monitoring everything through. So usually what I do as I do this, just so we don't double up on, like, because we're not checking phase. So somebody at some point, I would, if I hear it, or I just mute them. Like that way you can keep them at that point. And remember when you do the scratch test too, that they're obviously when they come in that you're backing back off the pre's a little bit. Don't let them stay, like leave them wide open. And just give them some give yourself some breathing room there. All right, cool, awesome. So that was good there, Kev. So let's go to viola. And yep, 184, good. Royer. This is 4. This is the one we thought might have an issue, right? Yeah, hold on. They keep scratching that. Let's see, Kev. That might be, yeah.
So you can talking to the 184 if you want to.
Can you talk into 184, Kev?
Yeah, so we actually switched this into 14 on the snake, so it's still in 4 on the mic.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so
Yeah,
it should definitely work then. Okay.
Cool.
And it, let's keep scratching.
Yeah, I'm not getting
Anything into the pre.
no, I know why, because we switch it over and then I
Stand by.
phantom. So yeah, give me 1 sec.
There we go.
Also, I'm taking this opportunity to make sure that everything's named properly and
Excellent.
cross-referencing, just so.
All right, cool.
So you know.
And he's got a group already down there. Cool. Strings following the groups. Excellent.
There it is.
There we go.
There it is.
Beautiful. All right. Now we're going to 387 cello. Stand by. Yeah, so as you can, like, if you could see exactly where Harry's is doing there, if you notice he doesn't have phantom on, he's pulling the pre back down and muting the channel so we don't get any kind of pops there. Cool. Awesome, Kev. And with that, actually, that cello, just a FYI to students out there, I'm going to try this in figure 8 just to see if we get some more boom thumpiness out of it. And then the reminder is that hopefully we can get a pass and then we can actually switch it to card at a certain point. And we might do some other things. So, but I'm just going to, try that. I really have, like, put it on the kick drum where it's in figure 8 and the boom and the thump is kind of cool. So we'll see what happens. You know, it's kind of consideration of the reflections behind it on the other side. So we'll see what happens. All right. So we're going to do the MS. So we'll start with the left side of the MS there, Kev, which is the goal. Oh, can you hear me? You got, oh, weird. Oh, there we go.
Did you take the
The gold
HDMI?
side on the
Did you
bottom,
steal
yeah.
it for that?
Which would be the left side, yeah.
okay.
Bottom. There you go. Yep.
Because I needed to a feed from the computer.
Okay. Thought we had it.
I got
running
it.
last
Cool.
time.
And then the right side.
This monitor.
Okay.
I didn't go to the center, so maybe I messed you up.
Yeah, it's fine.
That sounded like it.
We get something there?
It did for briefly.
Well, it's going to be off this one, right? There it is.
Right, yeah. So pre's got to stay up on.
On the 6
Yeah.
because it's...
Yep. And then line. Yep. Cool. Okay. And then mono, center.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. Cool. Sounds good, Kev.
Didn't get the center on here.
Let's
see it
try.
on
Let's
Pro
go back
Tools.
to that center real quick. Simon didn't see it over here, but let's just try that one more time. The
Should
center.
be, oh, the input set improperly, that's why. Should be 7.
What was I
here?
hearing then?
Yeah, we are hearing it, which is
Is it?
interesting. It could just
So
be
yeah,
from the
I had
other-
those inputs set wrong,
Yeah, it would
6,
just be- it
7,
would be
and
hearing from the
8.
left side, like the one on top.
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that was my bad.
All right. Cool. There we go. Thanks, Kev.
Or no, wait.
Yeah, we were.
Sorry, I'm just, because you guys right here, Pro Tools inputs 8, 9, and 10.
Oh, did we? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
I'm
that-
not sure
that's,
why,
that's
but then that
probably a
messes
typo.
up 6, 7 here.
That's definitely a typo. Sorry
Okay,
about that,
so
Simon.
they should be
Got a pen?
6, 7, and 8.
I think for the most part, we should actually just be following this. We
Okay.
were doing some
I'm gonna-
weird routing
I'm gonna grab a
before when we wrote
pen.
this in,
Okay.
and then we just decided to change it up.
Cool.
And, like, follow that. Sorry about that, mate.
No worries. So 6, 7, and 8, yeah. Yeah, so that's why I'm following along here, just because there's a lot of moving parts here. So it's good. Just want to make sure that we're all set up properly.
Yeah, I think for the most part you are just. In fact, I think you're just following the 1 through 12.
Yep.
Almost totally, and then you've got the. Did you check these as well? The 13, 14, 15. Because we're doing like we're trying one mic through 2 separate pre's.
Oh no, I didn't do those yet.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Nice.
Yeah, that's okay because it's kind of like,
It's kind of like a if we can get to it. Then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll set that up after then.
Perfect. Yeah.
Cause yeah, we'll.
And I think there's also.
And then these are gonna be
17,
9.
18, 19, 20 as well on these.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna
reeds.
wait till we actually
Yeah,
patched
awesome.
those until we had the strings in here. So 12, 13. No,
Ooh,
9,
no.
10, 11,
Yeah. there we go.
12.
Nice.
Okay, so then let's double check. Let's just double check that MS one more time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just want to make sure that.
So left side.
Yeah, good.
Cool. And then right side should be.
Right side?
Should be
Yeah.
the same. Cool. And then we got center.
Cool.
Yeah.
I should pan those out here on here, eh? Because
Yeah.
they're coming back in.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Cool,
Okay.
'Cause we're
awesome.
submixing, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Left ear there.
Left ear.
3D IO. So that is 9 and 10. Okay, I see.
Yes.
So I can.
Oh,
Yep.
power's off on this, so
Okay. Oh, you need to assign the power. Yeah.
Oh yeah, turn it on.
Yeah,
Okay,
stand by.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, should be good now. Okay, sounds good. Let's scratch. Yep. Other side.
Very quiet.
Yeah, they do need a lot of gain. All right, cool.
Cool. And then P12.
P12s, you got a drumstick? Yeah.
You can just shout.
Or the chair it up there. There you go. Awesome. So yeah, you probably got that from hopefully the camera there that the P12s are as high as we can kind of get them. And you know, given a bigger room, you kind of can choose to do, as we'll talk about panning, you can choose to do your near stuff with the wider image and kind of tail it back like a fading thing, and you tighten up the far ones, or you can do the farthest mics wide as possible. But in our room, we're kind of doing the MS, which is going to have a wider kind of close image, and then narrow with the space pair back there. All right, Kevs, I'm just talking. Scratch on the left one.
We're getting signal here. You not
Yeah.
sure?
What? Sorry, I just need to set the input.
We're
of
just
that
checking the
one.
inputs.
11
Yeah,
12.
keep scratching there.
We're good.
And yep, perfect. Excellent. Right side.
Oh, I forgot you had to
Yeah.
move the chair.
It's got a. All right.
There it is.
Excellent. Alrighty then. Next thing we'll do, Kev, is check hear back. So stand by.
So I mean that's all set up already. Hey, that's.
So we should be able to play in here. He can get them all kind of a rough level set.
Yeah. The only thing.
And then
we
we'll come back
haven't
and
done is the mix.
13,
Actually,
14,
don't need to do that, so we don't need to do
15.
that. Yeah, we just need to do the QAB mix for the 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay.
'Cause we
Which
were
is
doing
coming
it,
from the stems,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
So I'm
Do
just
we
gonna
need hear back?
yeah, I didn't
And are
have
we-
my phones. If Phil's still out there.
I can.
When are we going to
grab-
check those malts?
Let's get the hear back, and then we'll do it after the malt. How about
Cool.
that?
Sounds good.
I can just grab a pair from. Is there a pair in the office? Do you want me to?
There is one. Yeah, I can run. And
Okay,
grab
cool,
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Harry, am I on there? Jeremy? Good. Okay, cool. Harry's gonna grab. So Harry's grabbing a pair of cans there, Kevin, and we're gonna check the hear back, which means setting up the mixes. With the console, it's like we're submixing out, so we have a pair of channels for the drums, the music, the vocals, and strings, and a click. And that way it gives as the engineer producer, I got broad control, which is usually what I want to hear is something on or off. I don't need to hear specifics. Like if I need to hear like the different mics, that'll be Simon. I will have to do that. It keeps it a little bit easier managing on the console as opposed to individual split out channels. So we're gonna do that. And John should be here, and we'll talk arranging. Just got to check to make sure he doesn't come to the door. Yeah, and then I think what we'll do, or actually maybe before we even talk to John, after this moment, I'm going to come grab by groups, and you guys can come and check the setup, and then we'll talk with John, so you guys can get up and stretch for a minute here. So stand by. We'll just check the hear back. All right. All right, there. Let's see. So if we play back.
Just want to hear the music.
Yeah, please.
Spend my day with home and unkind. Smoked my stuff and drank all my wine. Made up my mind, make a new start. Going to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair.
Should I stick a click in the mix?
Yeah, go ahead and have it ready, and then they can turn it up or like it's there,
Yeah,
ready
so
to go.
they've got a click track. I was saying
Yeah.
for the 1-2 mix there, probably.
No, then we'll just have it up, and then they can, and we can automate it though if we need to just only have it in certain sections.
I mean, sure.
That way they won't have to turn it
up.
on. Yeah, just what I mean. Like, just have it up like that, and then if they don't want it for the full time, like in those breaks,
Yeah.
then it'll just be automated. Does that make sense? Oh no no, yeah no, like leave no click, like let's just keep it separate. Cool. And then if we go to one side, which we probably should go ahead and set it up
On the click?
on the full track, right? Are we doing?
Oh, I mean, I usually give them the choice, but
Just wait till. Okay.
yeah, because
And then you can just change it there, right?
yeah, if we want to. I mean, it might be easier.
Harry can just do it here too.
Yeah, if you just want
yeah,
the channel.
perfect. Yeah. Mics? No, I didn't set the mics up.
I set
Yeah.
them back to 0.
Oh, cool. And no filters. Yeah, perfect. And they're instant. Yeah, perfect. Okay. All good? Sweet. Okay. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so perfect. So let's that's good. Group A is in 532.
I do.
Does anybody know?
Um,
Whoever's in 532 as a group, how many we can bring? We can have how many people? Can we bring the whole group over?
We bring the whole group of social.
Okay, cool. And we'll go through that door there. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell Gabe. Gabe knows.
Gabe, hey Gabe. Hey everybody over there. 532. Like, why don't you guys come over? And we'll do. You guys can check the setup up, walk through, stretch your legs, and then go on back over. And then I'll come get in Studio 5 and then Studio 1. Sound good?
Perfect.
All right.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, figure 8 cards. They're all good.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Jacob said command us.
The
Command.
track was fine out there as well.
The what, sorry?
Hereback was
Jacob
fine
what?
too.
Jacob Chapter.
Yeah.
Oh,
We were talking.
I was like,
Jacob Chapsky.
He said command us.
when
Oh,
was
cool,
the
he's
last?
in.
That's a
Thanks,
good question.
Jacob.
When was the last time I saved?
Yeah.
Last time I saved
I'm gonna grab a
was
coffee. Nice. Awesome. So, thanks, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, those
8. No wait, modified 2 minutes ago.
Yes. Take.
So
yeah.
I've
take a
been
breather
I've
there.
done
I'm
bin
gonna take
command dessing.
Ooh,
It's
sprinkles.
okay, it's just all wrong.
You wrote one down. No, I know. 'Cause
But
we-
then also it actually did cause me a problem because you guys had 6 and 7 for the 3D
Yeah.
IO, so I couldn't put it on a stereo
Yeah.
track. And I was like, oh, whatever. But that's fine.
Yeah, then we did the moving, and I forgot to make those.
Also good if you do like room
Yeah.
close, room medium, room
I
far,
was-
because then I
I was
know.
gonna ask you how you wanted to name. I thought the exact same. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he probably has some kind of like overhead or something that you would call him something. But yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a difference between viola and violin. So.
Really?
Well, like I knew there was, but I just thought it was like I didn't know we had a violin today. I thought
Yeah.
we had 2.
That's almost never the case. There's almost never like 99.9% of the time there will be only one viola.
That you're like now that you're saying it's like yeah, that makes perfect
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Like,
It's always lots. Like a quartet would be violin, viola, cello. Yeah. But a bunch of violas together would sound cool. But yeah, it's never.
yeah,
I shouldn't say never the case.
No. no. We set up there, so that
Yeah. It's gonna get a little bit hairy with printing those reverbs. I think I'm not gonna print them till after.
These are for monitoring.
Yeah,
Once
yeah.
we create a balance, we may not even worry about it.
Yeah,
but-
the only reason is because of that overdubbing of the violin too, because then I'd need 2 and they'd have to be. It would be.
No.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that right now. Cool.
Okay, let's
two of us are here.
Hey, what happened? The rest of them get lost?
They're coming. Yeah, they didn't know where the door was. They couldn't find it.
They didn't know where 500 door was. Oh boy.
Was that door unlocked?
No.
Oh,
What?
That
No,
was
it,
just standing
it
there,
was.
that's right.
I came in there this morning.
Oh, is it?
Then I think
all right.
someone locked it.
The key.
I did. Yeah, that's me. I locked it.
Kevin's policing.
Because everybody was coming through here.
Hello, everybody. All right, why don't we come on out here? Yeah, you got to have the vibe, right? Okay. All right, stretching legs. Everything's good over there? You can hear everything? See everything? Cool. Come on in, come on in. Don't be shy. All right. So the only thing, this is a pretty standard string setup. Everybody's coming in. Sweet. You guys look like so many more when you're just standing individually. It's like a clown car. It just keeps coming. All right. There we go. All right. Gabe's holding it down over there. Okay. So we're going to do violin, cello. The only thing that's not optimal is I can't believe this, but this is the thing. It's like an armless chair, which we need to order and have another, at least armless chair. The piano bench should be fine. That's pretty, the height might be a little high. They can't adjust their cello with the foot and stuff like that, but hopefully it's okay. We have stools and stuff like that, or a drum stool, but that's a little bit creaky. So we'll talk recording on Monday, Tuesday, but really with strings, and they're probably obviously going to be sitting. They could want to stand. It's possible. I've worked with violinists; they just like standing. But you go over the back of the shoulder essentially, so they'd be sitting like this. And so what you do is kind of come over and look down like that. And it keeps the mics out of the way of the front too, but sometimes you'll see them. But if they're kind of overlooking, it gives them some comfort. And what you have to do is just kind of make sure that they have movement for their arms and stuff. So you just got to watch the periphery. Also, we're keeping the distance here. They may, if without COVID, want to be a little tighter, but it should be fine just because they're just all listening to intonation. So they'll probably do one ear on, one ear off. So the ability to just give them one side of the full mix is what they generally do because they need to hear intonation. Yeah, it's kind of the approach with that. I'm not sure how they would. I'm putting cello in the center because I want it balanced for low end. Obviously, if you're doing an orchestra or larger pieces, it could be low to high, or however you have like violin, violas, first chair, second chair. Like it's all, the idea there should be some balance from left to right, roughly. It also depends on what they're playing. Sometimes it just goes to the horns and they're on the right side, which is totally fine. It's like asymmetric. It doesn't always have to be balanced. Like that's kind of pretty classical. I mean, that's the classical approach. Yeah. So, and with this too, it's not a huge room, but I'm going to try to use this live corner here. So we've got MS, the 3DO, and the P12s. So we'll talk about, like, when we get into mixing, there's a couple different ways to do stereo imaging, meaning it's like a horizon line in visual. Your close information, you can make it hard, like the widest possible, and then the farthest mics, the longest reverbs, you tail in. It's like we talked about the 3 reverbs, and you have them panned in, so the image kind of goes like this. Or you can have an image where it's like close stuff is really narrow, and it opens up. One way or the other, something's happening in the image. That's kind of like the theoretical, conceptual approach to it. Yeah, that's it. So we'll see what's happening. We got 2 mics on the violin viola. It's not a blend. It's a one or the other kind of probably choice. That will do. We're also doing something which are hopefully setting up now, is that we're going to split or wide the KM184s and the 357 and go to the Neves with the 184s and the Audient, and that one's going to go to the Audient and the 610. We're not going to listen to. We'll check them to see if they're working, but if it's just the Audience, I just figured, like, why not? We'll A/B the different pre's, so we can see what we get out of that. Yeah, that's kind of the deal. Usually what we'll do for strings to make them sound bigger, and also with relative tuning discrepancies, which strings are like, they're intonated by feel and by ear, and by sometimes, at least tripling them, not doubling them. There's a different thing that happens with like the tuning discrepancies. If there are some, when you get to a triple, they're a little bit more obscured, which you can't notice them as much as kind of a trick. So, and also it sounds bigger. So it's quite common, like, sometimes to do orchestras where you get 20 pieces or 10 pieces and you double and triple them as opposed to paying for 30 string players. So because it costs a lot of money. So there's that's usually what I'll do for those approaches. So we're having the tracks ready, and and doubling them. And that's a lot. You can see all the channels we already have for this, and then we're splitting these to the 1073. So I don't know. There's probably 20 so mics are already happening. Anyways, that's kind of the approach. I've got a reverb, and we'll talk about the control room stuff in a moment, but that's kind of the gist of it. John, you got a question there?
When you're blending the signal of everything that you're recording, would you kind of focus on the player that's playing with the best information to keep that up front? Or is
Hopefully they're all playing with the same amount.
get to a good enough level, probably.
Yeah. When they're coming in for sessions and stuff like that, they're professional and stuff like that. I don't think you'd have to. But if you did notice that, with strings, usually, depending on how you want them to work, the classical approach, as we'll listen, is really the room mics. That's your balance. And then the spot mics are for lead elements. So you're adding those in for support. So if you're using those room mics as a blend of everybody, that intonation is it's going to be what it is. But we'll see with things like Melodyne what we can do to kind of massage those things out if it were a big issue. But yeah, that's about it. Other than that, just making sure you have your left and your rights all set up. Like we're going to do audience perspective. So from your MS, making sure that's left and that's right, your 3DO, your P12s. And then if you're doing that, then when you're listening to it, that your violins on your left-hand side. But when we start tripling it, we'll talk about that because I'm probably going to mix this song for the class demo for mixing, at least a part of it. But when you start tripling it, you figure out like, oh yeah, you can really pan, different elements in different places. Like we could do first pass, single, double, triple of strings, meaning the cello doesn't always have to be in the middle. We can move it around possibly. So we'll see what we do and how we balance that. It doesn't always have to be double, triple, and they're all the same panning. I could put violin, viola, viola. We'll see how it sounds. Or we could do them in quadrants as well. So they're like their own separate things, right? Because if you're doing an orchestra, it'd be like violin chairs, first chair, second chair behind them, violas, and there's there's a structure to them depending on the pieces. So kind of thinking about where the balance is. But the big thing too is kind of considering too where the low end is. You're really trying to kind of keep that mono. It's going to work the best. So yeah, and then when the headphones, just places where you do a lot of strings, they just do one-eared headphones. That's it. They don't have two sides because they're going to listen with one ear anyways. And then you got to worry about with these, you got to worry about leakage, right? So you don't want to send it to both channels because the leakage would be coming out, because they're going to sit open a little bit, and the mic is just right there, so it'll pick a lot of stuff. So, and we'll see that with the miking, you don't get too close. You're probably going to leave it like a foot or so. Closer you get, the more bow sound, more aggressive. It starts, fiddle-esque, because it's usually a little bit more texture there. So for these, we'll keep them probably a foot. We'll see what it sounds like. And so yeah, having a chair around to actually listen up on top of the violin, see where it's breathing is good. Cello, we'll see. It's kind of right around the F hole. And yeah, it's really, cellos are great because there's really no, like a double bass. You find the sweet spot and it's obvious. So like it hits you and you step outside of that and you lose like all this umph. So it's pretty clear for low end sometimes and cello and bass, I find. Eli.
What setting is the cello mic in?
We're going to do figure 8 actually, which I haven't tried. And so I'm going to see what it sounds like. And then hopefully if they get a pass and they're good with it, I'm probably going to flip it to cardioid. And we'll see what it sounds like. The only concern in figure 8 is like maybe it's going to be a little reflecty, might be a little strange, but we'll see. Maybe it'll work out. So we'll see how it does for low end. And then we also have the gentle setting, the neutral, and the forward. Probably not going to do the forward setting. I'm going to guess it's going to be on the middle setting or the gentle, or the neutral, the gentle for like a cello sound and stuff like that. Yeah. Questions? Yeah, that's about it. We can look in the control room and see what's happening. It's just kind of like I can go over the routing and stuff like that. But otherwise, anybody got questions?
Can we just take a picture of this?
Absolutely. Yes, have a picture.
One thing, is it normal, so if you're limited to amount of violinists, cellists, or whatever,
Yeah.
is it normal for you to do, like, if you're doing like 3 layers on top of each other, to do, if you say a violin and layer it for left, center, right, for one, and then...
It's up to you. Like, yeah, you could keep it, like, because otherwise it's like depends on the image that you want to get. You could keep them all in the same place, or you can kind of move them around. Like, we'll see, like, because if you had, like, in each one cello, one violin, one viola, one cello, one violin, viola, one cello. It's just up to your own ear. Like in an orchestra setting, you would have a section of your cello section. It would be more parceled out, and that's maybe how we'll keep it too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really up to your own ear.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a good question.
Can you move in a bit, Dean?
No, I'm moving out of the picture. No. I want to photobomb you. I'm going to get out of your picture. How about that?
You are the photo.
So will that door causing some problem? Like
No. I mean, no, the door's fine. Like, it's a metal, but we're not facing into it, right? It's like, otherwise, the asymmetrical aspect and the chances of a signal bouncing there and coming back, I don't think so. We'll listen and see, but I think it should be fine. As much recording as I've done in here, it should be good. Yeah, good question. Yeah. We did cover up the furnace only because it doesn't look very good, and it's kind of like, it could get kind of jangly, like if you're playing right into it, probably. So you got to watch out for that. Yeah. Anybody else? Good. All right, I'm going to bring in the other groups. You can stick your heads out, into the control room, but really we talked about the routing and stuff like that. There's not really too much to see in there. But otherwise, we'll see you on the other side. Sound good? Yep. Yeah, you're welcome. The other side. I don't know what that means, really. I mean, I'll be back on the camera and you'll be on the other side. I guess there was some logic to that.
Still looking like a control room.
Yeah. Yeah, not much happening, just a routing. I don't know, like we kind of explained it, but have a look since you're here before you head over. Totally fine.
Yeah. John just said he wants to just have a look on the floor.
But have a look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have a little look.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, man. How's it going?
Good to see ya.
Yeah. Yeah, glad you can make it. Yeah,
dude. Thanks for
exciting.
having me.
Yeah, so we just we got the mics all up and going. In a moment, we're just bringing the groups through, and then we'll just sit down and talk about like what you're thinking with the string arrangement, what's going to sound like, how it, maybe we'll show them some of the. I printed off a couple sets.
Sweet.
I did one mistake though where I double printed it. I don't know how flipping the pages. If they need singles,
Okay.
Kelly may even bring.
She'll
probably bring them
yeah,
for her. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure. Gotta,
Anyways, there's coffee. There's
awesome. Yeah.
there's
and $4 of donuts.
4 bucks of donuts. So we can always put on our winter. What's that?
All the other crews in now?
Yeah, that's cool. Like, I'll go get them actually.
Okay.
Oh, do they have to go around then?
No, we can open that door.
Okay, they can walk through.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do that then. All right,
Mic is live, so you can.
Studio 5. Why don't you all come in and we'll talk to you?
We can do both.
Actually, we'll do both. Studio. Yeah, actually, good idea. Yeah.
I'm like, what did I do here?
yeah. Reminder. Yeah, no, that's things are good. Yep. You're recording away. Are you working on your stuff or you just?
Well, kind of mixture of both. So working on producing Sav's album right
Yep.
now with our another friend Matt.
With Matt. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Matthew.
So we're doing that Thursdays and Fridays every week, and then working on some solo stuff, and then I got a couple just a few commercial stuff. On the side that I'm kind of been doing. So yeah, it's been pretty busy.
Yeah.
And kind of I just selling Harry, so I just signed to a modeling agency, which is fun.
Also doing. Oh yeah, there you
So
go.
I've been doing a lot of
Wow, look at
photos.
you.
It's so funny. I'm still it's so cringy, but I'm just.
But you know what? It pays the bills, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you know what? This is like if work is work at this point in time, and it's oddly enough, it's just the connections. You never like getting through into the ad agency.
People are always into everything, right?
Yeah. Like that's it. Like I think, don't burn any bridges and keep nurturing,
nurturing,
right?
Exactly.
All right, I'm just gonna go talk to these guys here. Hey, how's it going? How we doing? Is this everybody? I'm just gonna squeeze through here. Part the Red Sea here. All right. We are here, right? Both groups. A and B is one whole unified transformer. Yep.
So this is all B.
All B. What did I say? Oh, woo. Faux pas. Sorry, I didn't mean to insult you. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, so string session. As you heard, we're doing violin, cello, viola. Now their placement, if they felt like, no, we want to hear ourselves in a different order, I'd be totally fine. I went with the cello in the middle, just for low end, and just to keep it balanced when they're playing. So that's what I did. And you can see we got a couple violin, and there's two parts. There's going to be a second violin part, which will be an overdub. But off the top, it's everybody together. And we'll talk about their arrangement with John, who just got here. But we're going to go with the 184 and the Royer for both the violin and viola. It's not an either. It's not. We'll probably. I wouldn't blend them. I don't think I would. They could be. They're going to be really close together. But I think it's more of an optional kind of thing, and we'll see which one that fits better in the mix. So it could be a thing too where the second violin, which is more of a lead part, actually I might go with this mic and I might switch it to that one. But we'll talk about that when we have the mics up. And I'm probably going to mix this song for the class demo as we work on mixing and over the next couple weeks. And the cello is a 387, something was good on the low end. I actually got in figure 8, which I haven't done before, so I'm going to see how that sounds. The only thing that I don't want it to get washy or anything, because that would be the other side, right, back here. But it should have good proximity, so I'm going to try it on figure of 8 for the cello. And, COVID aside, maybe they might want to get a little tighter together, but they usually need, as we'll talk strings on Monday, Tuesday, sitting here and for violin, what you're typically going to do is bring the mics over the shoulder, and they're looking down, because if they're out in front here, it just gets it like, it's just kind of, you got to watch their arms, their movements and stuff like that. Make sure they can reach a full back and stuff like that. You want to give them some real estate. So all in all, like the 6 feet is actually not too bad for the players. I mean, if you had 100 pieces or 50 pieces, they're pretty crammed. They're pretty tight in there. Like they got their space and they're used to playing in those kind of quarters, especially if they're in a pit somewhere. So that's that. We got MS. We got the 3DO and the P12s as space pairs. So the idea can work like this and this will kind of reinforce it when we talk mixing and what we talked about panning early on. One way to kind of think about these strings are kind of like supportive accompaniment anyways, minus maybe like the second violin, which might have some more leady moments, is that the MS is going to be the widest, a wide image, right? So your close stuff, your close room mics, because usually if you have big rooms, you might do close and far room mics, is going to be the widest image. So you kind of think about the wide image, which is close material, and then it kind of goes like this. It kind of goes into a horizon line, which are the P12s. Or you can do it opposite, where you do the close stuff as the most narrow mics, like an XY or something, and then the space pair is the further one backs. But because of the room shape here, obviously I can't do super wide in the back. So I'm going the opposite way. But doesn't mean, at the end of the day that I can't tuck the MS into my mix. Like I have control of it. But that's kind of the understanding of vanishing points. If you're visual layout and design, there's a horizon line, a vanishing point, and panning is the same thing. You listen to a mix, and you're like, kind of should go like this or maybe go like that in a fashion. And so that's what we got. So we got lots of choices. And again, maybe it'll be a blend of those. I'm not sure. If we had I could have at a certain point, and I could probably do this now, is I probably could push these chairs back to where you guys are almost standing. And then I probably could put the MS maybe here. And then I could give us more depth, actually, which I might do. The interns are going to hate me. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's pretty tucked in here. And I'm wondering, at least I think I'm going to do that. They're going to not like that. But I think that's going to give us a little bit more. Now that I'm thinking about it and kind of thinking about the spacing, I might push everybody back, so we'll have that. So that way I'll probably move the 3DO right here, and I'll put the MS right here. And so that's usually what happens on sessions. You spend all the time setting up. Someone comes like, let's move it a little bit as we're thinking about it. But anyways, that's the idea. That'll probably give us more kind of more spatialness. But this is not a huge room anyways, and I guess that's why I wasn't too concerned about it being kind of crammed in the back there. It's not it's a very controlled room, which is very neutral sounding, which is nice. So that's why I kind of thought, let's put everybody in this thing. But then it's like, the blend of these mics is not going to be very different, and the distance is pretty close. So maybe we'll open that up. Anyways, we'll probably, most times, again, I was telling the other group, with strings, especially with just a trio, to make them sound bigger, we'll at least triple them, probably. So same part 3 times. And the thing about that also, what happens is if there's any intonation, which is it's strings, and there's even the best players, there's strings have that fluctuation of pitch. And so what you do when you triple them, the way it starts with the beating frequencies and how it works with the chorusing effect, it becomes a little bit less, more obscure of the tuning. any slight intonation issues about tripling them. It's kind of a string player told me that, and I was like, yeah, it's like, you know, once you doubling it's one thing, and then when you triple them, it's like wham, it just feels better. So you get size out of it and kind of like this tuning kind of balance that happens. So we'll probably at least triple them in that way. It'll make it sound like at least like I guess that would be a sextet, 6-piece there happening. And then we got the second violin part, which we'll put on. I had some other ideas of like if we have time of like I was listening to this guy Johan Johansson, who's a string player, and he did like Inception, I think, Inception, and like he didn't do Interstellar, but anyways, he does a lot of like movies. But what they did is they recorded like all these like the highest notes they could hit on their relative string instruments, and then he took a tape machine and pitched them all down, and so it gave it this super low droniness to it. And so I was thinking about trying some things like that, but we'll see what kind of time we have and if we get to experimentation land. Strings, usually you block them like this is a 2-hour call, so that's usually probably the most minimum time. And then, you know, when you get to like, you know, Toronto, when you're calling big string sessions, it's like first call, second call, and then it goes into double time, triple scale, you know, depending on the players too. So yeah, that's one of the times working in studios where you're working on 2 to 3 hour calls probably, and they're more minimal than like a regular recording session sometimes. But that's like, so those players can be unionized. I'm not sure that this is a union session. We'll have to find out. But there's certain regulations which you get from MV and how that falls in. So in the recording world, that's when you really encounter union-esque things. There are very few studios that are unionized. I think in California, Capitol might be union, but I think that's about it. I think otherwise, recording studios are independent for the most part. So that's kind of the logistical things. Does anybody have questions? William?
Would you ever use a lab to mic up the bridge of the string instrument, or is that more?
It's for live. I don't find like doing it in the studio very much. Like we'll talk about double bass, which we might have done when we talked bass. Is like with the double bass, what they've done before is taken an Omni mic, like a QTC, and you wrap it in foam and you put it in the bridge behind it. And that's like, but now they have the DPA mics, which are super. They're not like even like clip-on, like pickup mics or actual microphones. Those DPAs are really good. But I don't tend to use those in the studio. Like if a violin player has a lot of movements into it, like that makes sense because then it does it. You don't get it. Now that's why the distance has to be good, because if you get too close, you'll hear the movement. So you got to get the mic up and far enough away. But if they have a clip-on, it's good. But typically in a recording session, I wouldn't really opt for one of those. I mean, if they had it like on the bass, like a double bass in, and I would record it like a DI for sure. I just have it, and sometimes it might be cool. Yeah. Anybody else? Jacob.
How are we like checking for phase shifts? Are we doing like mic by mic again? Like
Yeah, you'll still like, so the phase, I'm not too, like I said, for these mics, I'm not gonna really think that they're gonna be a blend, so I'm not too concerned. Obviously between the stereo ones, that should be good. They're all, like we'll check this, but the idea of phase between like these close mics and these room mics, we'll see what it sounds like. I don't really get too lost in that. That's kind of like just the essence of what strings are. Like if it was complete, like if you could hear it 180, more than likely because of how they're playing and the lack of like it being super percussive. I mean, you can hear it. Like if it were 180, we just flip the phase switch. I would check them. I mean, if they get in between, I think that's sometimes just the nature of recording. But we'll listen to it and see. Like if it was, you know, like I said, I'm thinking maybe what we could do with time, like with time, we could be able to move some of these mics if this, you know, if the MS wasn't really phase coherent with the close mic. So we'll give it a check. And like I said, I'm thinking now that we'll move these out, but you're definitely checking within the stereo pairs for sure, and making sure those are good between each other is important. As far as the close mics, like as opposed to a drum kit, I mean, Simon, you're back there. What do you do with like, I check the phase, but for some reason it's just.
Sorry. Yeah.
What close mics and room mics for phase? Like, do you get too lost in that? Like,
No, you just
yeah.
like unless you hear a problem,
Yeah.
it's usually fine.
Yeah.
With room mics, it's always a thing of like you switch the phase and you're like, oh, there's more low end that's in phase, but then you're like, do I need the low end?
Yeah, you need to low end on strings, right? It's like a different thing than drums, oddly enough. Like it's one of those things where it's a little bit like, you don't get too lost in. Like it is kind of the idea, that low end and that richness, and sometimes that phasiness is not even, it could be what's cool about it a little bit. So, but we'll listen to it for sure. Anybody else? Bobby.
when you move Will you be worried about any reflections from the piano? Or
Not really, like, because they're playing this way, like their backs are going to be that way, and we're playing into the piano. I mean, if it, like, we did cover up that, but we'll, like someone asked about the door, and it's like, we're not really playing directly into that, and the shape of the room is looking for those things. I mean, this idea of being in this room, you can walk around and you feel how, like, balanced it sounds between low, mids, and highs. It's not super bright, not dull. Everything's pretty clear. So, yeah, not too concerned, but if we were around it, you might want to blanket or just push it back a little bit more. Yeah, I imagine, like, still their backs are going to be turned to it, so. Like the idea of a reflection, the control of the room is hopefully things are not coming back into certain areas. They're being diffused, right? Anybody else? Yeah. That's really it. Should be fun. So what we're going to do now, stretch your legs on your way back. Hit the washroom. John's going to be here. String players calls 11 to 1. So then they should probably get here, I'm imagining, like at 1:45 or something. And then we'll set up for that. So, but if you have questions, just let me know. Sound good? You can have a look at the control room. I kind of explained how the setup is, but if you want to see what's going on, have at it. Harry, did you hear what I was talking about?
Yeah, I heard the notion that we were moving it back. I didn't.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, if we can just, I mean, so while they're doing this, what I'm thinking is, like, if we get, like, move it back to about, like, here,
Okay.
here, and here, because I'm thinking we don't really have a big difference between those mics, and then I'm going to move the MS right here. And then I'm going to move the 3D up. That way we have a bit more of a depth thing happening.
Is there going to be? Oh, there'll be enough signal. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So about a meter.
Yeah, we don't need much more. So, yes.
What are you guys going? Like, what sound are you guys trying to go for with the Paloosos? Like, why are they cranked up so high into like the corners?
For room sound. Yeah, just.
More like reflection.
Well, there's going to be reflections up there, but it's just distance, right? It's space. And so by that space, you get depth.
Okay.
And so it's really that. It's like, yeah, the whole idea of the room, that area is reflectiveness and reflections. That coloration can actually be good for the sound a little bit. And it makes it a little bit more lively. Like one of the things I find with this room is it's like, it's very neutral and clean, but for this kind of song, it might go for having a little bit more color.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the idea. Good question. Yeah. Yeah.
Bring the two.
Yeah, I'm thinking, and then if they're playing this way, they're probably going to want, if they're all right-handed, hearback's on the right-hand side because they're all cradled and more or less, they'll have to put the bow down. Yeah, so the idea was, let's move that right on the other side of the carpet. I felt like, as I started talking about it, it's like we didn't get much of depth out of this. But in the end of the day, I was like, as I started, I think you could do it in front of it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can, if we got real estate here.
Yeah, because that'll definitely give us. And then we'll bring the 3D IO in as well.
The 3D IO is going to go where this guy was, about right here, so mid level there. So. If you keep going through it, Simon.
What?
If you go further where you need a mortgage broker, you should go to this guy on Wellington.
Okay.
But you got one from your
But they're not, no one's gonna want to give me a mortgage because I already have a mortgage.
Well, you should talk to him. Mortgage, he's been MV's used them and Telesky. It's Clint Strope and the other guy's Mike McGuire. Mike was our guy, but amazing because we went through the bank and the bank guy.
Should we have a little off-center?
Oh, because the guys you're gonna have to move anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I honestly don't really want to buy in the market right now.
Yeah.
It's too messed up. You gotta wait for it to cool down.
Cool down. Yeah, it's,
No, it never. Everyone's like, oh, it never will. But
it's got to. Otherwise, they gotta control it. Is so if I do blend them, it would make more sense, and we have a bigger a difference between them.
All makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
So you're just kind of recording everything and then just see later on what kind of fits
Yeah.
together. Okay.
Exactly. It's all trial and error, and like what we do today might even be different than what we do when we mix it.
Okay, sounds good.
But we'll just kind of listen and see how the blend sounds. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, over your shoulder. There you go. That's cool. Yep. Yep.
Sorry, I'm looking at my nose.
Oh, it's got to actually. Happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
There's
whoops.
something up with that one there. That's why I was saying don't
Oh,
mute the microphone.
oh shoot! I thought it was just me and like don't mute it. I was like,
No, I caught it.
sorry everybody. Get the fuzz. Was that just in? That was for everybody. That happened.
Yeah, that would have been for everyone.
Oh no! Everybody out there in the live stream world that is tuning in, thank you for tuning in, and especially those prospective students for next year. Awesome. I hope you're enjoying this, and if you have questions, let us know. So, as Jeremy is frantically changing batteries, John is here, Fellner, who is producing this with us and playing on it and arranged and wrote the strings. And so we'll just move chairs over. Where, Jeremy, tell me where we should sit for this in a moment. All right.
You guys are good to go over.
Over here? Cool. Okay. You want to slide that chair around? Yeah, yeah.
Right over here?
Yeah, right there. We'll keep our distance. That's probably good. Yes. Be clean. Be safe. All right. So we had strings. So I guess the question would be, you know what we can do is, well, when Simon comes in, we'll listen to the existing strings. The question would be, how much of what you wrote in the session, those string parts, did you kind of pull from, or did you rewrite them completely, or is it basically kind of?
Yeah, I kind of rewrote them completely, to be honest.
Did you? Oh, cool. Okay.
Because I just had the balance that we had made the first day.
Yeah.
And then I kind of had an idea of what I wanted it to go into, for the ending. I had that build part that we had, and I kind of had things in my head that I wanted to do. But then for the rest of it, I was just kind of like wanted to introduce the strings in a way that was kind of subtle, and then we talked about that kind of that moment where there's a key change. That's kind of like the string moment.
Yeah.
And then funny enough, when you messaged me about doing the pits, like,
Yeah.
I was like, I already had that in my head for
cool.
in here for the second verse, which is really funny. So.
Yeah, it's good. We're on the same page. I was just one of those things, and like I don't know, it was got to be a Saturday night at like the weirdest time, and I'm thinking about this song. Like, hey, did you put pizziccatos in that part? And he's like, actually, sure did. So that's how me, as you know, people that are more on the writing side, and with these things, they kind of happen. You just kind of always it's kind of going through your head, and it's good. It's always good to know that. You're kind of on the same page with somebody.
For sure, yeah.
Which is kind of funny. So it was a good moment there. Like, oh, cool, we're there. Yeah. And so, what's the approach? Like, what are you writing in? Like, what software are you writing these strings on?
So I'm just writing them like in Logic, and
Okay.
then I like export the MIDI files to MuseScore, and then that's where I actually.
MuseScore is what you're using?
Yeah, I just use MuseScore.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I mean.
How is the conversion from what you play in Logic to the converting to MuseScore? Is that pretty accurate?
It's fairly accurate. I mean, I kind of like what I'll do is I'll play it on like MIDI keyboard, and so obviously the timing is a little bit off. But once I get the part right, then I like quantize everything so it's perfect.
Yes.
And then when you're exporting it, it's relatively just
good.
It just copies and pastes pretty easily. There's a few things that after doing it a few times, you kind of are like, it's gonna do this. It's gonna give you like a million bars at the beginning, and weird spacing and stuff like that. That you kind of have to just like, know that's gonna happen, and then you just change it. So It's, So it's I've done it enough that I kind of know a little bit about that, but I'm definitely it's always every time's a little bit of a learning
curve.
Yeah. For sure, yeah.
So so that's a whole another kind of feather in your kind of cap of arrangement and songwriting as you go through your career. Having these things, being able to do them is fantastic, and as you get to work with more people or more players, what's the biggest? You did strings with Emmanuel's, right? With George Serra, right?
Yeah.
How many? What was the size of that one?
So we had 4 players.
4 players. Okay.
Yeah, we did it at Noble Street in the Studio A, which was really fun. And obviously working with George was great. We got to
George Serra's the guy. George does all like the Shawn Mendes stuff and a gazillion things other. And he's like a Super Juno nominated guy. I've only met him once, but it was super sweet, but amazingly talented. So, so you wrote, and so when you in that situation. When you wrote the strings, did you deal with like typically? So today, Kelly Larachette, Simon's significant other, was the what we would call the point person of strings. What is that word I'm looking for? What would you Well, she didn't arrange. No. Well, because you're arranging it, but usually there's when you hire strings, there's someone who also actually gets the players, and there's
yeah.
So it's kind of like a musical director.
Sure,
of the situation, right?
Yeah. So that's her. So Kevin Fox is the guy in Toronto who's the celloist, and he actually helped arrange those parts as well. So I didn't do I wrote the parts, and then
he finessed them.
He kind of finessed them for the quartet, which was actually really helpful for that situation because there were so many songs, and we had I think we had a 12-hour day.
12-hour day, wow!
We were doing the entire album basically, so it was a lot, and it was a big day, but so he was great. So Kevin Fox.
Kevin Fox. So you deal usually that's what I was kind of asking, because as you you're saying I'm just learning as I kind of go, and you get to meet people who are also kind of have done it before, and what things you're looking for. So what's important to know for arranging for strings, because what you can play on a keyboard MIDI wise may not translate to what they can actually play on their instruments, right? So you're considering their range they can play, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, sometimes if you're just kind of starting out and making an arrangement, sometimes I'll literally just pull up a full orchestra patch and just kind of mess around, right? That's kind of just the best way to get at ideas, I find. And then once you kind of get an idea of parts, and you're might have to simplify it because maybe you only have 4 voicings that you can do. Obviously, maybe you're doing more, but maybe it's just a quartet, or a trio in this case, which I didn't quite stick to because I got one of the high stuff. But that's the beauty of recording too, right? We can always overdub. But just kind of knowing the range, obviously, which is again like a learning curve. You
Yeah.
don't always know that right off the bat. You don't know how low a viola can go, or how low a cello can go even.
Right.
But yeah, so I guess that's kind of the first thing to consider when you're.
Is the actual instrument in their range.
Yeah,
Right? And,
yeah.
So when you, Jeremy, do you have a question?
Yeah, we got a quick question.
Yeah.
Joel is asking, he just wanted to know, when you're using Logic, are you using the Logic scoring window, or do you not prefer it? If so,
oh no, yeah. I just use the MIDI window when because I'm going to move it to the scoring in MuseScore. So I usually just use it. I'll open it to check and make sure that like there's nothing weird happening. Like if you're doing like quarter notes or something like that, and you quantize, and you want to just double check, make sure it actually is spitting out quarter notes and not doing some weird dotted. Sometimes things get a little funny in Logic, but yeah. So that's the only time. But other than that, I never really use the score window in Logic.
Cool. Yeah, that was because that's what I was asking. When it's converted to like that pianissimo and mezzo forte and all the notation for articulation, is that taken from extracted from your MIDI, or do you write that in?
I wrote that in.
You have to write that in.
Yeah,
okay, so and that's in MuseScore that you're writing that
that's
in.
That's in MuseScore that I wrote.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What I might do is once we get going, and depending like I can make more copies. Is maybe I'll send a set of the sheet music to the different rooms for everybody, so you guys can have a look at it. And so usually when John sent this to me, it's the full score, and then it's also the individual parts. So then we get just what the viola's doing and what the cello's doing, and everybody has their individual parts and based on their bar number, so they can see exactly what they're playing. And this is throughout the whole arrangement of the piece for the full score. Cool. When you did, I'm just curious about those strings for Emmanuel's record, which you could all check out. It is out, right? The whole thing is out. Or is it still?
It's not actually completely out.
It's not even completely out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of got delayed, but there's two.
There's a couple tunes out.
There's 2 EPs that are kind of out. Yeah,
okay, cool. What now? Like, what's the so? I'm curious. Who ended up? Did George? Who mixed the record?
Again, Gary Noble.
Gary Noble, okay.
Yeah, in Miami.
Okay, cool. I'm just so. Do you know how much? Do you prefer sometimes to keep your real strings and program, or is it? Do you just say no? Is it just a listening thing?
Yeah, no, that's a good point actually. Yeah, so I think in most of them we did layer in the MIDI strings as well. Yeah, it's just kind of a good, it's like those real strings add like the real attack and the real you have bow noise, you have things, but sometimes it's nice to, especially if it's like a big kind of, you're going for like a big grand orchestral thing, which for a lot of the Emmanuel stuff, it was that. It was very cinematic and orchestral. So having those kind of just, perfect string samples kind of just really low in the mix kind of helped support that, while not losing any of the character of the actual real strings that we recorded. So.
Cool. That's a great question. Yeah, because you think about like, because string players are like, recording them and recording anything naturally acoustically is you're getting this kind of like this thing that's really hard to write in for string players unless you like the MIDI controllers are better these days. There's like MIDI 2.0 which is getting more accurate and what you can actually for like bowing and the articulation methods. And it's one thing just to play, chords of a string section, but to really make them sound like string players is a whole different, ball of wax. So, but I've definitely found granted making sure that you got good intonation between the two, that layering in like the MIDI strings with the live strings just really expands it a lot more. It's not like, we spent all this money on these real strings and we're just going to get rid of the MIDI strings. Sometimes you're like, no, they're actually getting them to fill them in is really cool. And then what you get from the real strings are just like John was saying, so all the little nuancy things, but you can get the expansiveness of the MIDI strings in there, which I found that's a pretty common choice, even though like you still got real strings. So again, if you had a 50-piece orchestra, at the end of the day, you've kind of got it all covered. But usually these days, like most acoustic recordings, I find that hiring 20 string players is not cheap, 10, but doing like trios to quartets and then doubling, tripling them, and then using them with MIDI strings really can kind of like give you the best of like, economy for your dollar and stuff like that. And it's just like even a singular violin sometimes or cello, it can go a lot on top of like program kind of strings.
Yeah, for sure. I've also heard of some interesting techniques that I've never really tried this, but I've heard, I think on think on Channel Orange, the engineer Jeff Ellis had like this interview, and he was talking about how when they recorded the strings for that album, they like every time they did a take, they would just get the string players to shift over.
Yeah.
Seats, so
right.
kind of gives like a different
Yeah,
stereo image of what the actual strings are happening. So I was like, I've never tried it. I always wanted to try that, but
yeah, that was the thought too. I was having out there as we double and triple them, because if like background vocals, if you stack them, you do one set this close to the mic, you take one step back and you move them around, and it can fill it out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we could do is we could swap. Or just have them move further back from the room mics, and change the positioning a little bit. But we'll see how time goes. But that's a big thing about kind of making it give you the impression that it's a bigger piece than it is, like what you actually recorded. Is the fact that they're changing positions or either moving off the mic a little bit. But that's cool. Yeah. That's definitely a way. So I'm just thinking. Maybe we'll just take and slide your chairs back a little bit and give it some more room mic. And we could also have the cello swap different places and move them around. Yeah. But again, thinking about how you would naturally structure them too, if it's violas, violins, or violin violas, first chair, second chair, cellos over here, and trying to kind of get that. So that's cool. Yeah. So if we can get to it, we'll definitely try that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Strings?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Be fun to record the pits. See how that sounds.
Yeah, the pizzicato. Yeah. So there's a part like basically harmonically. If we look at the parts, what are we adding a lot more harmonically than what was there, or are we sticking to basic chord? Because I haven't looked at it.
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely. I mean, there's moving parts, so there's going to be definitely a little more
harmonic,
thickness. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the most part, it is following the chord structure of the song.
Yeah.
And the song chord structure is pretty
straightforward.
Yeah. There's only those couple
there's couple substitutions in there.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, no, I kind of just followed that, and yeah, I mean, hopefully they sound good. At the end of the day, it's like it'll be interesting to see here, and yeah, I think I know it was just a trio, but I wrote that fourth violin part, or I guess second violin part, to kind of just to
give it some
octave some stuff, give it some high stuff, because I mean, when it's super mid-rangey, and sometimes when you're mixing in the strings, it's there, but sometimes it's that high stuff or the really low stuff, or
that really can cut through.
It can kind of cut through, exactly. Yeah. So and then for the pits, we might feel like because it's gonna be maybe a little thinner, maybe it'll be cooler to triple it up, maybe even do more if we have time.
Right.
I don't know, things like that to kind of play with. But yeah, definitely string sessions fly by like crazy fast. Like more so than other string sessions other sessions I find. So.
Right. So yeah, we don't want to we'll make sure we get like the basics down.
For sure, yeah.
And if we can get a double, triple, and then thinking like maybe we just like doubling, tripling the high line, second violin part or whatever. But like making sure we get the foundation happening and then getting a couple passes of that. And it could be a situation too. So getting the what's written and then trying any additional thickening kind of things is all bonus for the the process.
One thing that I realized I didn't write in, so sometimes when I write string parts, I'll actually write the articulation by hand, just because I find that sometimes this is a little bit, I don't know, sometimes I just do it that way. But I usually don't leave the space because I'm usually running the session. So so I'll just say, so this doesn't actually start at the beginning. This starts at bar. But it doesn't really matter.
That's what I noticed. I was like, what's bar? Take the first
it's
second
actually
bar.
Not the first bar, but I don't know. I just do that rather than putting a whole bunch of rest in.
In there, yeah. Just
and I usually cue it in, but I didn't this time, so that's it's a good thing, I guess.
You're here, and then it's
just,
to coach them through it just in case we have. So when the string players get here, which they should be any minute now, just kind of like Kelly's has the music, she's distributed to the players. They should be relatively familiar with it, and then it's kind of like just going to sit through. Like maybe listen on the floor, see how it sounds out there, play through it, and then kind of come in playing the track. Then and then see if there's any note changes or anything for as you go through. And then strings are one of those things. Even though it's written, I've been on sessions. If you have a great like director, sometimes you can give them changes, and on the spot they can make changes. But
Yeah.
you rarely, I mean, and it's also like you don't want to throw the players off a little bit too. String players are sometimes not the most improvisational people. Just
Yeah.
because they're built for this thing of reading it on the thing, and that's not a bad
Yeah.
thing. It's totally
Yeah.
fine. And so I've learned that, like, you know, that's what we like in certain players is the ability to improvise or not. And when you see some of these string players that, you know, that are first chair orchestra players, they just blow your mind. Like,
Yeah.
they're just like machines.
It's crazy.
And, yeah.
They won't even, like, you know, sometimes they'll be, well, I mean, so the Emmanuel section,
Yeah.
they hadn't looked at the music at all. They
Right.
just, music's put in front of them.
And it's
then
like,
they
go.
And it's just like, maybe you run through it once, but you're
Yeah.
probably recording, you know? Like,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
and I mean, same with, like, when they're doing big, you know, orchestral stuff,
Yeah.
like for movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like those players just get there, pick up their music for the day.
Yep. And then they're off
Sit
the
down in the
races.
chair, and then it's like, okay, let's track, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
It's crazy, so I guess that's why they get paid the big bucks.
All right. It looks like our players are coming up here. And so we're going to take like about maybe 10 minutes. Everybody stretch your legs. We're going to pause because string players just got here. We're going to get situated, and then we will come back on. Let's make it 15 minutes or like 10 after 11, and we'll be back on. Sound good, everybody? 10 after 11. All right.
Alrighty.
All right, let's go talk.
Sweet. That's it.
Yep. Yep. Let me know when it's good. Yeah, they just flipped the live stream was off for a moment, but we flipped it back on, so students are just kind of watching this happen. And we kind of already walked through all the kind of technicalities, and then maybe what you can do is just here a little bit once you get to placing the piece out here. Let's just check that list and stuff like that. Make everybody good. And yeah, whatever you need, yeah, whenever you start throwing on headphones and want us to do that, let us know what you need as usual. We will accommodate. Sound good? Yeah, awesome. Okay. John, that was John, so as far as I know, yeah. You guys haven't heard the song either, have you? Because we'll kill the channels, so we don't get leakage on the side, the open side. And, yeah, sound good? I always do this. There you go.
Well,
how about this? You guys can flip the headphones, but we'll just kill like a certain side, the off side. Because it doesn't matter as long as you have the off, all the consistent off side.
if you want both, that's fine too.
Well, we could do it on the hear back, right? And just take it out of stereo.
You can
turn off
port
one
that.
side.
You need to port that.
Because
I have to deal with this.
Yeah. You guys should do whatever's comfortable for you. Yeah. So you just opposite. Yeah. So you guys tell us which side is on your ear, which would be is chord side left or right.
Absolutely.
Yes. Is chord side left, whatever. All right. So we'll do right side off. But if you want, John, if you want both sides.
Yeah, both sides might be a little. If it's hard, then don't worry about it.
Can we do it?
So we can send him.
Because everybody else we can just fill the right sides. Now.
Well, we can do.
Okay, but on 1 and 2. Right.
Yeah. We can do something on like maybe we can do everything else can do that. It might be a little awkward.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, let's go. Maybe we'll do something else.
Alrighty. I'm gonna unpatch. So we're doing right side off. I think Dean's worried about leakage from the right ear going into. I'm just telling you what's there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel it. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, we might actually need
You know what? It's funny, there's like that's the only thing that's that's gonna go to both.
because we're gonna need to be up like.
Couldn't you just on 9?
Yeah, let me see when Evan plays.
Just send it to 1 to and send it to each box. That's great. Is it able to send it? Try and find it. I can just send it to it's fine. I can link the instructions here back in
It might be okay. I think we're good.
So
go to Pro Tools, so I make sure the levels are good. Yeah, we gotta double check that.
Nice.
Oh, I apologize for all my macros. Holy smokes.
Is that okay there?
Should
If
you
I just
start
move?
with
Okay, cool.
rooms?
Okay.
'Cause I think they're still moving around the spots.
Sure.
They can change it. They'll change. Yeah, we can. Is that coming from your headphones or from in here?
I just mean, yeah, physically. You mean right now.
Yeah, in the room.
But it'll be in now.
Okay, cool. Because like, if we had to, like, what do you guys generally prefer when you're doing trio, like positioning? Would you like?
It's more of a cut from the line, to be honest.
Yeah, I was thinking more. Yeah, it's like so you would be further back, like more semicircle.
Yeah, you kind of be more facing each other and be more like that.
Yeah, yeah, we can totally. Let's do like yeah, we can do whatever. Yeah, that's what I was. So if
I went into that.
like we got to keep the 6 feet, but you want to shift and look towards them more. Yeah, totally, absolutely. So, Kevin, just here I can hold your bow.
You guys.
Yeah, we move and you guys just stand and tell us. You go stand where you think you want to be, and we'll move to you. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Sorry about. Yeah, I was trying to. I kind of felt that would be that, but yeah, like so, and then it's just positioning, facing each other, right? Yeah, yeah, totally, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we will. That's what I was wondering too. Yeah. There we go. As long as we're 6 feet, where we can do whatever you want.
That's the one limitation, right?
I don't know. I see a lot. Cool math. I would have given you COVID by now.
I was kidding. You guys are brothers, right? So you know. All okay. So. All right. Yeah. That's better. Awesome. Yeah. Sorry about that. Like I knew. Like there. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. There we go. Cool.
Are you filming?
Nope.
That's so
I want to sound like how you
Yeah, I
guys
was
can
gonna
play
see that
the
on the
best,
story,
and,
and I was like,
it feels
okay,
right.
I don't
All right. Cool.
share
Yeah.
I'm
All
like,
right.
keep
That's
it
what I thought.
to-
Okay.
keep it on
Cool.
the
Now we're
DL.
talking. Good.
Get to the
Oh, dude, I
There we go.
I share everything.
Yeah. If you're here, if you adjust to that, yeah. Slide you offset that. I'm gonna do the spot mics here.
My Snapchat is just
I mean, I
like
wouldn't call
hundreds of small videos that I took
you want like
and
to
just
get
saved
the
on my phone.
room
Like,
sound.
Yeah.
The violin will be at the side.
back to those.
Would it be? Yeah. Okay.
Because the violin projection is
The
way
projection, yeah, okay, yeah, you guys can switch then. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I was wanting. Yeah, I had.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I wanted to default to, and I just didn't.
You gotta make it look like you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, same thing. We'll just
Or else
in,
are you doing anything? Then why-
however you want to do it. Yeah, like
It's like we'll keep these mics
Mike's
inside.
is.
I'll just swap them.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. That's good to consider. I didn't think about the project, like where it's. There we go. Good. Okay, now we're talking.
Are you doing
I
anything?
totally slipped my mind on that one.
I need to get a better mask. This one makes like it look like it like points out.
It's gonna have pointy top for sure.
You want a few different mic scenarios and just testing them out. Is that-
Yeah. So what the idea would be is like you got close MS and you got mid like binaural, like which is near coincident, right? And then you got far. So depending on, we'll just see what. This is not a big sounding room. This area makes it a little bit more live. Again, I've already shifted back more. Had I might actually have everybody go back like a couple paces, but we're gonna stick this. That way we'd have bigger distance between them. Well,
Your future sound. Oh, your future sound.
yeah, if we could actually just, if where we take everything and John, you go here,
No, I don't
Evan, you
get
go
it.
back almost as a black X back there. There we go. Like again, sorry to do it like this. This and then that way we get more distance between. They're gonna hate us because I think this the second time I've moved everybody. Yeah, because it's not a huge sounding room, so we're trying to make the most of what we got here. Yeah, so
You got an email
yeah,
from
there you
Barbara
go. Now
about
it's a little bit like probably like right here maybe, Evan. Is that good? Hey guys, I did it again. I moved everybody. There we go. It's just a little bit more spaciness there, and I'm screwing everybody up. But that's what happens when you do things, right? There we go. Now we got a little bit more breathing room here, and we might get more depth out of that. So yeah, it's kind of like a one or the. I mean, it might be a blend
So
of
have you
these.
booked
It
the
might
session
not.
yet, or
We'll
what?
see what it sounds like. I think otherwise we should.
Dude, what a long phase. So cute.
Yeah, that's it. And we'll probably like if we can like do like triple, like try to double and triple the whole thing, if time. That way you can thicken it up a little bit.
Just got a little chorus, don't worry about it.
That's it. We'll see, yeah. But I bet your intonation is spot on, so it'll be good. It'll be good. All right, cool. And then, Kev, you're good? Okay, so the only thing we'll just move these mics. We'll maybe move the MS just up a hair. All right, Harry, I've done it again. Cool. We did it. We got it back a little bit. We've got a breathing room, so we're projecting. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we're probably gonna move the MS just about like off on the other side of the carpet, and you can center it too. Cool. All right. We did it.
No, we didn't.
There we go.
No, we didn't.
Agility.
Don't get twisted. He did it.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to keep track of it, that's fine. I'll just have to point me the way.
Dude, it's called film.
You just tell me what's there, and I'll say good.
Camera.
Okay. All right.
I took it with my film iPhone.
Okay. So, you guys can just whenever you're ready to roll through it, I'm gonna place mics, and you guys just yell if you need anything.
No, dude. Your store.
So that's what the
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Harry. Sorry about the
No worries, man.
mumbo jumbo. The
Yeah,
moving.
exactly.
Keeping it good for the students. See what it really.
actually want to enter.
So one thing we may do is we might go in front, Harry, and come back
Son, you
around
suck, right?
this way. Just for cable length, all right. So.
Coffee on airplane mode.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna clean this all up here. Let me see if I can get this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna spin behind you there once I can figure out. Oh, we did it. We spilled the coffee after all this. I know. I was like, you got a towel there? And we'll get a chair for you too, so you can actually something to put it on.
Oh, yeah.
I just realized, or like a. We had the tea towels. They did come in use. Harry, is that little cement speaker stand thing in there for like a little table or something?
Yeah.
That way we won't like get it kicked off. On the suede.
So is that a bass trap in the middle of it, or?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. So up there would be like a type of bass trap that kind of contain it. That way it doesn't get super soupy in there and keeps it open. So yeah, usually like I'll record drums in there. Like I'll have the piano going in there. So this style of room is very 70s, like control, very neutral. So it's not like, it's good and clean, but it doesn't have a lot of personality, I find it. For the coffee.
For the coffee. Yeah.
There we go. All right. There we go. That's how we do it.
Like, I've never seen men be this good at hosting, ever.
That's what it's about.
I've never seen men like us.
Sounds like a TV show. Men like us.
Men like us. We said we might go into catering, so.
All right.
25?
Whenever you guys ready, yeah, I'm just gonna. Yep, you guys just do your thing, and I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah. Want to try the very beginning? We should try that. Where do we have unison? 31? No, 30? 34. We should tune that.
30?
Is it 30? We have E, F sharp, G sharp, B.
Yeah.
That we should tune that, yeah.
Okay.
Just find the G sharp. Do you ever try to? Do you play with your thirds a little just, or do you not think about that?
Are you speaking, John?
I try not to. Do you
play with your thirds just at all, or do you just try to put them like equal?
Like thirds?
Yeah, like a G sharp.
G sharp.
Or Evan, do you think about that or no? 'Cause I always fall into that, but I usually push them up. You push them. Okay.
I totally went the wrong way. I should get over. Yeah, that's one way. Like it's like that way, or like if you have the right stands, it can kind of like up and over. But I think that's fine. As long as they're not, that's good. I think we're just gonna try to reach over.
Absolutely, mate. I just rough them in for you.
That's good. Yeah, yeah.
I tried 30.
I'll try doing it that way. Cool.
We tried 34 too.
Yeah.
Are we good on the distance of the cello?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. I think that's sounding pretty. I'm gonna go back and check it.
Cool. I'm gonna start bringing up the mics.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yep.
Interesting. I'm assuming that they're not going to want me to play any open strings.
Why not open strings? Just because of
Just the harshness.
I kind of like it's, you know, you got to imagine like the original was like a folky thing, right? Zeppelin. Like I think like having like almost not fiddle-esque like harshness to it, but I think having that could be cool for texture.
Okay, all right.
I use mine.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Okay.
Like I'm not offended. Like I think that like it depends on where we're gonna place them in the mix, right? If you wanted like a nice padded sound, like not harsh would be good, but I think a little texture like that is kind of kind of feels.
Play open strings then.
You're kind of over the whole
Just do
cover
this.
every note.
You know I like that because McGoffin would.
It doesn't like it.
Hate it every single time, and I would like try to sneak and like I would sneak one open string in, and he'd be like, "You played an open string."
I guess everybody's got their things, right?
How about that? Just feather it in there.
I don't know though.
Yeah, everybody's got their thing. I mean, like right or again, like without hearing it in context, it's kind of like not the best to make the judgment with that. Like until we hear it in the piece.
You're right. Yeah.
But again, like I'm not offended by like anything that kind of feels like something real about it. I guess not that clean is not real either, but we can see. It's good to have options, that's for sure.
Yes.
Can you guys play that again? Just kind of just double check these mics here and see.
So from 34? Yeah. Okay.
You guys all comfortable? Like with distance, with headphones?
Absolutely,
Does it bother you, Kelly?
Nope, not at all.
All right.
Doing great.
Thank you.
All right, let's see what it sounds like in there.
So what bowing did you like for 38?
38. I'm breaking up a lot of the.
It's always a good rule of thumb.
4 bars. Sorry, four note sorts I'm breaking up often, just so I.
How's it sound in here? It's like strings.
We got our mods working, which is
Okay.
great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, everything's looking pretty good. Yeah, 6 cents all good.
All right, so let's just mute the room mics.
Like, do you want to be down on 41?
You got that?
For now.
Yeah.
We check phase between them or just check level?
Well, I literally just brought up the
Okay, cool.
It sounds like there's maybe some phase going on.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of things all at once. So
Yeah,
if they're all
exactly.
open, I imagine.
Yeah. Just let me know which ones you want.
Yeah, let's
for
start
the-
off with just turn off the Royers and the room mics.
Okay.
What's that from again?
And then
Remember we played that once.
Do you want to?
Let me see. Because you know what I noticed in that some of this. I'm gonna shut one of these doors here.
Yeah.
I did notice leakage in like the piano or something from the other session. And I'm sure it wasn't headphones. It was from the room, the control room. I don't know the way we would do it.
It wasn't from.
Can you guys hear me? Yep. Awesome. Kelly, can you hear me? Does Kelly is talkback on the channel or was it coming?
We
check.
don't have talkback. We can bring up.
Oh, they don't.
something.
Oh no, not talkback, but like in the cans, like.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
should be.
Kelly, you got me? You got, no, Kelly.
Can I just?
Stand by.
Sorry.
Does anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Evan and John do.
Evan and John, I got you.
But maybe something's
I
down
bet the
or-
1 and 2's.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
1 and 2, the bottom left-hand side there, Kelly. Is that channel up? Oh, I guess you're gonna hear me. Of course.
Just do the studio loudspeaker.
Yeah, I was going to. Okay, yeah. Okay, you can hear me through the speaker. 1 and 2 there. Yeah, sorry, Kelly. Thank you. We can do this. I've done it before. Done this. Can do it.
Don't worry, I'll go out. That's fine.
Bottom
Oh,
left.
all right.
That's it.
It's a 1-2.
One
Thanks,
dash.
Aaron.
Stereo.
Feels like summertime.
They're
Yeah.
together. The 1 and the 2 are
Yeah.
together.
Hot. I can't believe that.
They're together. One is left and one is right. Well, not really today, but.
More bodies, more equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sweating. Also, this shirt isn't conducive to.
Yeah, it's not very.
Flow.
It's not cotton. Is it?
Cotton.
It's not a breathable fabric.
No, absolutely not.
Thank you.
All right. How's that there, Kelly?
Hi.
Good. I also have a mask on too, so that's probably not helping.
That's fine.
That better?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Can you guys just run through some of those different sections? It's good, so I can just kind of like hear what's happening before we play the track. Sound good?
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm gonna go from 20.
All right. So
17, 18,
Cool. So okay.
just gonna go through and listen to each mic, I guess.
Cool. So
Have
we're
the right
doing.
tempo-ish?
Sorry, 184 is the 387 and the MS at the moment. Right?
No rooms. Yeah, no rooms.
Just the Cam-184s and the Lawton.
Yeah, exactly. Boys, let me hear the cello. Violin. Back to 184.
Yeah, we were getting about about plus 10ish.
Okay. Yeah, nothing higher than that. We don't want to crush. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't need any color from that. Okay. You can pick just one more section. I'm just kind of still going through.
So do you want to flip around the warrior?
Yeah. Will you go? Stand by.
Like
Actually, we're gonna run out. Yeah. Can you? Both sides. Put them on the dark side. We're just gonna make a mic adjustment here.
Cool.
I just record everything. He's in the run-through.
Run-throughs? That's cool. Yeah.
He's going to make some old samples or something.
Yeah, I was thinking. I saw this thing where like they we could get like just some open notes, and like as high as each instrument can play. And then what they did is they took in with tape and they slowed the tape machine down as slow as possible, and then it became like octaves down, but super cool sounding.
That's cool.
So
That sounds rad.
that's your sound shifter thing. But anyway, so I thought of like if we could do that at some points where we could think of some texture-y kind of things, and we could get some like E's and like just a couple of the notes in there, the chords, and then see what we can do if we slow it all down.
Awesome.
So if we make sure we get this first though. Yeah, that was just like an. And that's the thing about the close mics. I mean, like on their own, it's like there's going to be aggressive, but really it's all about the room
It
mics,
sounds
right?
a little harsh, but
Right.
yeah, no, we're gonna be
Yeah, they don't need. That's the thing with the close mics is. All right, cool. Can we hear that same section again? You got a question?
Am I able to get some of myself in my mix?
It should be coming through the strings, so it should be on channels 5 and 6.
5 and 6 are.
So just turn up the knob labeled 5.
No.
So are you getting yourself there?
Is that better there, John?
I think it's better. I'll see what it's like with everybody else.
You can give them more via
Send off the track onto another channel. And then put that, but we'll just see how
Yeah, we can do that if need be.
Can we just put a send from
Same spot?
send from here off of one of the?
So if he sends if Simon does a send to another channel, we can just bring it up on QAB.
Oh, it's because you're sending everything. Oh, the stems from there.
That'll be going to the mix.
So they're not
but
coming
like,
from Pro Tools.
Sorry.
Right. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
no, we're just all that's coming off the board.
Board. Got it. Okay. Cool.
That's the R1.
Okay. Better. All right. Let's hear the and let's hear the viola. That's viola.
R122.
And the 184 on the viola. Cool. There's a difference. That's cool. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let's just for sake of it, let's just leave it. Like make sure they're printing, and we'll come back and.
So we want K184 for the viola?
Yeah. Leave them both Royers. I kind of like the Royers are a little darker for right now. Okay. So let's mute. Let's listen to the MS. Only. Wow.
So wide.
So bright.
I think it's
It's the speakers, but this mic is super bright. All right, and then the P12s. Let's check the phase on those. The levels are like, let's right side needs to go up on the P12s.
Yeah.
Can we hear that just one more time? Sounded great. Did we turn off the thermostat on the back one behind the piano?
Yes.
We did.
Oh,
Okay.
the back one behind the piano.
I heard it clicking earlier. It felt like it was my.
Show that, Kev. Yeah, nice one.
Yeah. Royers, close mics, please. Let's flip the phase on these room mic. So we're checking phase against the close. Cool. Here we go. Okay, yep. Out. Again. Out. Outside. L3. Yep. Out. Is that in? That feels good. Yeah. Okay.
Add a slur in there so I don't
All right. They're all okay. So let's
Are you guys?
So right now, what I would say as far as the balance goes, let's pull the close mics down and let's go with like
No, this one's cranked.
by like 5 dB maybe at least.
These are cranked. These are.
I don't know about the panning
Yeah,
too.
5 and 6.
Yeah, let's we'll just do it like as they are. So let's do
Not this one,
violin on the left, viola right.
It's hard. I don't think I can.
John, how's it sound? And is it like balanced there? Or is it are you hearing somebody more or less, or is the balance for your strings good?
I think for me it is good.
Yeah. We'll play the track, and go ahead and play through the track and see how everybody is. How about that?
What's the track on here?
Track is 1 and 2, right?
So that's the whole mix, yes.
Yeah.
The track, yeah, 1 and 2.
So the whole mix is 1 and 2. Yeah, and Kevin will got that.
Yeah, and then on 3 and 4 is like the instrumental, the kind of like it's like the melody parts. Of,
Okay.
like, it's
Music.
the
Okay.
music.
I don't know if I'm hearing any strings in.
That one should be up.
Strings. It's such a dodgy way of doing it.
This should be your mix.
I just cut the right side. I just unplugged it.
Oh, unplugged it. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
You can bump the main
Okay,
one
okay.
there, and then we'll just grab a limiter.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, should be good there. This
Feels like summertime, right?
It is
Oh,
warm in
okay.
here, yeah.
It's all right.
I'm good because I'm
Thank you
not
so much.
moving at all.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
stationary, so I feel good.
Could dim the lights, but
Yeah, and you got the fan.
I got the
there,
fan
so.
on here. I'm probably blocking the fan on.
Nah, man, you're alright, you're alright.
all right. So we are going to give you the track. We'll give you a count in, and then we'll be off to the races. And so just let us know if you need anything. Are we good in here?
Yeah, I'm gonna do 2 bars. The arrangement starts
At bar 8.
yeah, so right here's bar 1. So I'm gonna do 2 bars before they come in.
Right. Okay. So you guys got 2 bars before you come in, which is bar 8, correct? I should get those sheet music.
Or,
What's that?
oh, they come in at the very
They
beginning.
come at around.
Oh, right at the top.
Yeah,
okay,
but that's partway through verse 1.
Yeah.
part
and
way
I've-
through verse 1. Exactly.
Yeah, figured that out with John. So
You figured it out.
Well,
He didn't want to put a bunch
his
of rest
bar
on there.
1 was our bar like something else.
Got it.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
So Simon offset. Give us an offset there. Excellent. All right.
I have 2 violin parts.
Someone told me there's a girl out there, love in her eyes and flowers in her hair.
No, you're good. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Took my chances on a big jet plane. Never let 'em tell you that they're all the same. Oh, the sea was red and the sky was gray. I wonder how
getting a lot of signal on the room mics.
Yeah.
Is the song going through the loudspeakers or something, or?
It shouldn't be.
Okay. Just seems like a lot.
Something routing to them?
Like, yeah, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Anything routing to those? That should see?
Anything on a bus that's not.
Unless
We'll just check it. We'll solo when we get through it here. Yeah, it's done. All right. Yeah, it does pick up like definitely. All right, cool. That's good. Thank you. Can you put up the big counter on the right hand side? That'd be good. Yeah, thank you.
I put some reverb on their bus.
Yeah, for
They're
that.
gonna not like it.
Good try. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. You can go ahead and send us. Yeah, you go ahead and send. I was just waiting for a minute just to see what it sounds like before we.
Seriously, the whole string mixtape.
Okay. Yep. And return is 1 or 2.
3. So I always find that 1 and
That's
2
it.
kind of just get in the way of the monitor.
That's it, right? Sweet.
And you can always just.
All right. How's everybody's headphones doing now?
I can't hear a lot of things happening. So I have my both volumes cranked, and I still can't. I kind of can hear.
All right, stand by. We're gonna play it back. Then we want to get a separate another pair of headphones, or hear back.
I think it's most likely the hear back might be the problem. Well, it could be the headphones.
Okay. Let's just play it back like it is. Kevin, just put on some headphones and check it out. We're gonna play back what we just did.
So 3 and 4 is what is that?
So 3 and 4 is just the instrumental track with no drums. It's like everything but drums.
Okay. And then mix 1, 2 is.
Mix 1, 2 is the fallback mix. So that should have everything: drums, music, vocals, strings. Okay.
Awesome. All right.
Oh, you're on the right thing, though.
I'm not on the right thing.
No, you should be in the headphone one.
Oh.
That's it. That's it.
Did those guys just figure? Oh, you guys are great. Good. There you go. All right. Watch your ears then. Yeah. Sorry, that could have been us.
So, that's on me.
I should have noticed
So just volume. Hang on.
That's gonna solve it.
That will solve all the problems.
Line up.
Would it be possible to have a click in the mix?
Yeah, absolutely.
10-4. Yep.
So the click is on the.
He's got Kevin.
Yeah. So.
There you go.
Are you not getting it?
Yeah.
This is like you can't teach us all this like.
Actually, hey Kevin.
He's back here.
Okay.
They're asking for click.
Yes, it's actually in 7. It's not 8. I'm sorry. I changed that because I wanted them to all be in the left.
Left ear. Okay, yeah. So channel 7.
Kelly's is working now.
All right, Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now you're. Wait, hold on. But now I have you in the wrong ear.
We'll switch you around.
She'll just put the headphones on.
Put the headphones on the other way.
Sorry,
Well,
I could have sworn that we were going to do the other ear. Okay.
There we go.
I'm so embarrassed.
Can't take her anywhere.
Oh my gosh, I can hear things.
Well, I'm glad you were sticking through it there. You were trying. You were barreling through, and you made it through a pass. You didn't stop. You know, you could have gone prima donna on us. Like you just could have just. I can't believe this. This is not acceptable. All right, we just got to play that, but we got to listen to a couple mics and just to see if they're good and there's no like gremlins hiding. So just stand by.
I'll go on this bridge here.
Okay, cool.
Seems like the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose and it started to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach it in time. Meet you up there with a path unstraight. Find a queen without a king. They say she plays. Never let 'em tell you that they're all the same. Oh, the sea was red and the sky was gray. I wonder how tomorrow could ever follow today.
Yes.
Someone told me there's a girl out there, love in her eyes and flowers in
Hall?
Concert hall.
That's fine. Pre-delay. And size. Yep. Just that strings, yeah, just full strings. Yeah. And that's come back and forth. Yeah, that was good. It's a full mix. Yeah. Extra piece ones. Yeah. it's gonna be. Up again?
Sorry?
You want to set it back from pre-fader, all pre-fader?
Pre-fader and then I'll just send
So for the room mics, just do the P12s then, to the reverbs then. All right, stand by.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just the P12?
P12s and some close mics. But yeah, we don't need like 3 sets of room mics going down. Right, okay, yeah, that's why we can't do it. Right, okay, cool. All right, so we're just going to do it on the spot then. Sound good? But yeah, that's the thing. Like, if there were pre-fader, then yeah, just ignore pre-fader then.
Okay, yeah.
Because we want to hear it on playback. Right.
Cool.
All right. We're just doing some things in here. You guys okay? All right.
Cool, sorry about that.
All right. One more time. Here we go. Stand by.
Someone told me there's a girl out there, love in her eyes and flowers. Took my chances on a big jet plane. Never let 'em tell you that they're all the same.
Two?
Yeah, if you just send the full back there.
Oh, the sea is red and the sky was gray. I wonder how tomorrow can ever fall today. The canyons start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to wake. Now watch out. Seems like the wrong of the gods got a punch on the nose and it started to blow. I think I might be sinking.
How's it good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Throw me around if I reach it and die. Get you there where the path looks straight. Find a queen without a king. They say she plays guitar and cries and sings.
Probably where we'll start like with layers. Yeah. We don't even no pizzicatos, right? We don't need
Footsteps of dawn. Try to find a woman who's never It's not as hard as it seems. It's not as hard
Nice job. All right. Yeah, very nice. How's that feel for you out there?
Really good.
That's good.
All right. Awesome. Let's just do one more like that. Like, yeah, just getting settled in, I think is good. I don't hear anything. I don't want to mess up anything right now. So let's just do one more like that.
Sorry, did you want to change the polar pattern of the 387 or the timbre settings?
Yeah, not right now.
Okay,
No. Yeah, that's fine. If we get to a point where we can do, like, I want to get this down, and then we can do some
absolutely, man,
experimentation.
absolutely.
All right, stand by. Let's do it again.
Someone told me there's a girl out there, love in her eyes and flowers chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that they're all the same. Oh, the sea was red and the sky was gray. I wonder how tomorrow could ever follow today. Mountains and the canyons start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to wake. Now watch out. It seems like the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose and it started to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach it and die. Meet you up there where the path comes straight. Find a queen without a king. They say she plays guitar and cries and sings. La 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 la. Ride a white bear in the footsteps of dawn. Trying to find a woman who's never, never, never It's not as hard as it seems. It's not as hard
Sounded amazing.
I would say that if we could do one more like that, and then I'll have some dynamic things maybe that we can get into. But I think just getting like 3 good solid like kind of ones like that is good. And then let me see if I got some ideas or if John's hearing anything.
Yeah.
Anything off the top or before we go through that, John?
I think just on the entrance you can be even quieter coming in. Just on that I think you're all just holding like an E there. So you just really quiet there, and then in those at the end, just kind of really digging into those moments, especially when you're ascending there. So
That's
yeah,
all-
I think that sounded great.
Yeah. And I was thinking it's at certain times I think towards the end you can almost push on top of the beat a little bit. Like you can like you don't have to lay back as much. I think maybe seeing how that feels. That was the only thing that was kind of here and there.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Sounded really nice. Very, very beautiful.
I think for the pitch part, maybe we'll do more than triple on there, just to give it a little bit
Thickness?
more. Yeah, a little
Yeah,
more
yeah.
thickness than that.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Ready? Let's do it.
Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her Took my chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that they're all the same. Oh, the sea
was thinking maybe going on 3. It's kind of a good breath, but I'm wondering it's just for building up into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, it would be like, how could they actually really do that? Right. Yeah, we can get to that. Yeah. Didn't hear that at all before. Kanye? It's like, no, not that one. No, I think he had one called Blinding Lights. Is it All the Lights? All the Lights. There you go. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely not that Blinding Lights. All the lights. Some kind of lights. A bit faster? I know. Yeah. No, don't get it at all. Absolutely not. Okay. Yeah. And Kelly, are you doing some of the open strings there in that?
I sure am.
It's sounding good. Yeah. I'm just wondering for kind of other textures just to hear it. Not with those, but I think maybe we'll hold off and come back to that. But I do like it like this. It's cool.
Okay.
So keep with the open.
Yay.
And John, any thoughts?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah, you guys playing beautifully.
You want to double it?
No, when do we jump to putting in the violin?
Violin 2? Oh, yeah. Well, there's a couple ways we can approach this. There's one thing that we thought is there's that rest of pizzicatos before the full legato strings come in, that maybe we would play through that bar, add another bar of pizz. It's only just so you can transition to out of pizz, but we could just stop it and get another bar there. That might be interesting. Let's get those pizzicatos and just play the bar of rest now. Just add another bar of pizz there. Sound good?
Yes, so 17.
17.
Repeat it. Okay.
Yeah, just repeat the bar, previous bar. Yeah. Yep. So let's get that, and then we'll stop and go further. So stand by.
The 2 bar.
2 bars before the pits come in. I do hear the delay part. It makes sense, yeah. A response line. It could be like a call and response. Yeah.
Seems like the wrong of the gods got a bunch of the nose and it's
Cool, they went right to it. You guys are animals. You went right into the part. That's no problem. Do you want to go ahead and set up our double tracks and just stack the pizzas then, and then we'll work through and then double, and then come back and do the second violin part maybe. So we'll double and triple after this, and then we'll come back and do the second violin part.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna double that part, the pits. Sound good? Over here, getting the track. Count is going up.
Yeah, quickly.
It's amazing. That's it. Eight players. Or there's 6 players, right?
Yeah, with the pits, you gotta do like 5 players.
5 players.
seems like the wrong of the gods got a bunch of the nose and it's not.
We're adding a bar into the music, so it doesn't matter because we're just gonna.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we're just stopping. Yeah,
We're just stopping after. You guys can just do the pits and that's it. That's fine. Yeah. That's okay. You don't have to. Yep, just pits in. We're gonna do another set here. We're gonna make them large and in charge. You guys don't charge for each double and triple that we do, are we? We're milking you string players for how you can be, as opposed to hiring our sextet. Yeah. Actually, there's some unions what gets picky about that. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Like,
like
you can only need so many doubles?
Doubles, because they like, why don't you just hire? You know, you're like, I've heard of like kind of grumblings
That's
like
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
All right, stand by. Plus, I like string players that go to Prague and go to like Seattle as opposed to Los Angeles because it's a lot cheaper.
Especially if you're in an orchestra.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you just like, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That
But
makes sense.
you can do 20 players and make it sound like 40 by just double, tripling it.
Seems like the wrath of the gods got
Let's just do
I'll do one more.
All right.
We'll make the track.
one more. Here we go.
I'll just do another take.
Take. Okay, cool.
cannons start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to wake. Now watch out. It seems like the wrath of the gods got a bunch on the nose.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's the great the contrast between like those pizzas and the string part coming in after that's amazing. Sounds great. So what we're gonna do now is double post the pits part, or actually verse 2, right? So which bar is?
After the pits part is the bridge.
Is the bridge? Yeah. So we want that doubled. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna start the double after that. And Simon, just for those in the students there, are they? Everybody's string players are getting all the doubles as we do this, right?
Right now, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like the way that we have it.
Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, just for people to know, like that they're still getting all the doubles and triples.
I have all the string tracks going to a submix.
Cool.
And
Okay.
then that submix is feeding the board on 7 and 8.
Give Simon, because as he starts to add in all these tracks, it can get a little wonky with control.
Yeah,
So it's Simon's doing a lot of massive, as you can see.
We've got like 53 string tracks.
53 string tracks we've just multiplied. Yeah. It's the $6 million string section here. Stronger, faster. All right, here we go.
So we're going on the bridge.
Yes, on the bridge. So we're doubling at the bridge there.
Give me 2 seconds because I just want to make sure the overlap is okay.
Oh yeah. If we have to cut it short, we could
Yeah, it should be okay.
put a
For a moment, because on the original track, it starts there.
there. Okay, yes, sounds good. You want to cut out a bar? Oh yeah, so you could cut out that last bar of pizzas then, so they can.
You can always trim it out afterwards.
Yeah.
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 So I'm just gonna make a new take here.
Okay, cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
And
we'll
I'll go 2 bars before the entry of the
Bridge.
strings, just before the bridge. Bar 20 is where we'll come in. So I'll start at bar 18.
All right, bar 18, starting on bar 20. Stand by. Side double. You get to hear them double at some point. It's good. We get to hear them stacked on the other. Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Go be on the separate track. Yeah. Yep. I was saying it's good to hear them double. Cool to hear them double, yeah. Like they needed to push it, yeah. But that part, yeah.
Well, the length with this note.
What I did there?
Yeah.
If you think it's helpful.
Yeah. Fantastic. That sounded amazing. You guys feeling okay? You want to take a break or something? Good? Okay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do one more just like that. Yeah. Sounding great. No, I'm just, there's a big smile under this mask here. Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Should we just tell them to watch tempo on that part?
Yeah, so right on bar 46, 47. We're actually starting at 38. Just watch your, like I told you to push, and I think we just need to lay back on it a little bit. So we turned the click up a little bit for you. It was good at the end, but we got a little bit too far ahead there. So if we just relax that a little bit, that'll be nice.
And for the students, I have the click printed as audio, so it's really easy for me to just use clip gain to turn up that one moment. So they'll get the click a little bit louder, and they're playing louder, so we won't have to worry about the bleed as much.
Cool. Yeah, and digging in is good there for sure. All right, sound good?
So we're going bar 20 again?
Back to bar 20? Yep.
Sorry, they were supposed to start on bar 20. I was on bar 18.
Bad communication, stand by. Sorry. Yep, there you go. Sorry about that. That was me. We are starting at.
I started it on the wrong spot.
Okay, here we go.
Yep. So I'm starting at bar 18, and then everyone's coming in bar 20.
Bar 20, yeah. So that was our fault. Okay, here we go.
String players are funny. Like when you tell them like, okay, it's 2 bars, they don't even listen to the music. They just do whatever.
Yeah, they're like 2 bars. All right, fantastic. So we're going to do one more. This time we are starting at 34?
31.
31. We're starting at 31?
The lead, at technically 30 because we're doing the lead in at 30.
Okay, so you're starting at?
29.
Right. So Simon started at 29. You all are in at 31.
30.
30.
Sorry, so I'm gonna start 28.
Yeah,
Everyone come in
okay,
at
you got
30.
your 2 bars. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, my bad.
Simon's at 28. You guys are at 30. Here we go.
Am I maxing?
we can figure out like how we want to offset them in the placement of. Cool. John, how you feel? Good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that so? The triple is just happening on the end? The beginning is just going to be the trio. Well,
Yeah.
Trio and then double on the
Double.
bridge.
We'll build it up over time. That's great, you all. Thank you. I think what we need to do now is the second violin part.
Yeah.
And then if John and Evan, if you guys want to just take 5 while Kelly does this, you guys can get up, stretch your legs. And then what I would like to try is I might do some miking changes if that's okay. That sound good? All right, cool. All right. So open the door.
Any mic changes that we could set up now?
Jed, you go ahead and flip the flip the cello. Put it actually in card, but also put it in gentle. Like roll the top off. Yeah. Yeah. How are they doing in there? Doing good?
Good. Yeah. Everyone engaging?
And I guess we didn't do the movement of the, you know what we could do is when we change that, is maybe what we'll do if we do another
give me
pass
just give me a list here.
Is like change position. I'll do some positioning, but
What
just talking
what
out loud
you
here.
got?
Thinking out loud is what they say, right? Cool.
So
Yeah, you can just
bar-
flip that guy
bar
to
two? Yeah.
gentle
Okay.
and
Bar
card.
two.
Bar 2, and then.
Yeah.
you can
Thanks,
just give it that,
Kevin.
so there's a big
Look at that.
rest, give it that, and then
Hostess with the mostest.
till bar
All right. You guys hear that? That's
Okay, is there
what Kevin
pickup
is
there?
like.
Looks
You
like
know,
this.
he's stepping up the
So bar 25.
the hostess
Okay.
game,
Bar
hostessing. Yeah,
25.
that's right. That's what it's about. Beautiful. All right. That's how you get. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you so
Bar
much.
2,
Yeah.
bar 25.
It's
Cool.
it's gorgeous. So we're gonna turn their headphones, or let's just unplug them so we don't mess with their. Oh, sorry, baby. Okay. All right. Good. Unplugged. Cool. All right.
That sounds great. Nice arrangement.
Thanks, man.
Sounds even better
Cool.
than I thought it
Yeah,
would too.
that's
Like,
fine.
because we were like, oh
Okay.
yeah, strings would be nice when we put the fake strings on, but this is like, whoo.
Yeah, it's kind of fun with like the chord changes too that we did in the initial part. Like
Yeah.
it works well with having strings make it more cinematic and
Yeah.
shit. So it works really well with Sal's voice too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Like the line she does in the last part.
Yeah.
That's kind of the part that like I built the entire string part on.
The harm part, the ooze,
Like
or
the-
her vocal line.
the
Oh yeah,
vocal
because she
line
goes.
she does.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Accentuate the positive,
Yeah.
as they say.
The kids are saying that, yeah.
Gary, I've hardly seen you without your mask on.
It's mad.
This is
isn't
your
it?
face. Okay, great. Oh, it's so funny when, like I started working with Matt in the studio, but obviously in the summer, so
Yeah.
we're always wearing masks, and then like, when we go outside and be like, oh, that's what your face looks like. I completely
Yeah.
forget,
It's
you know?
super weird meeting someone without seeing the bottom half of
It
their
is. It's actually so bizarre.
We had a funny thing with the students of the most surprising chin.
And also, yeah, like when people have facial hair, you didn't know that facial hair. Like, and you infer what their face looks like, and then they like, oh,
And then it's completely different. You're like,
oh,
oh,
okay,
okay,
yeah.
yeah. We had it all wrong.
or what their voice sounds like.
I considered at one point like just like leaving like just the neck beard and the sideburns, and then no one would know that you, and then just like taking the mask off. You're like, oh geez, what's going on?
We'll just dye the whole thing like bright pink.
I could do that too.
So there's something I wanted to try in the pizzicatos. I'm not totally stealing it. It's not like I created, but it's called Colengo Battuzo. So you spin the sticks around, and you actually hit the strings with the strings.
If they want to do
If they
that.
do that, if they'll do that.
That's the real question.
No, Kelly's got her finger up. Oh no, it was open. She heard me.
She heard it, yeah. The
Is
talkback
that
is open.
was that not allowed?
It is allowed, but you always have to be careful with string instruments because our bows are very expensive.
Yeah, no, that's why. Yeah, I realized that. But that would you guys would be okay with trying that, or maybe? Yeah.
Well, it's only Kelly in there, so
Did the rates just go up?
just don't use the bow I bought you. Just don't use the bow I bought you if you're gonna do it.
You gotta go grab some student bows.
Just give them these.
Yeah.
Stick from outside.
Yeah, literally.
I was thinking of it, but I didn't know what the name was. Say it again, Kelly.
I was saying there's a fine line between Led Zeppelin and Baroque music. So.
True. Yes, exactly.
It's a fine line.
Yeah. There's a little bit different there. Okay. Anyways, that's the. Anyways, I thought that might be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
If we could try that, but let's first things first.
Violin
So this part comes in.
Bar 2, and bar 25 is where we're going to bring it in.
Bar 2, yes.
Yep. So I'll just start the song where the string part was starting.
Right, yeah. So she does those 2 whole notes and that little dotted part. Yep, okay, cool. All right, stand by.
Yeah.
Violin 2.
I'm going to start at the beginning and then you come in at bar. Like I'll start where the strings, everyone else comes in and then you can come in after them. Okay. So it'll be a 1 bar lead in.
Awesome, here we go.
The doors are closed and everything, we're good.
Yeah, we just,
Just wasn't sure. Cool.
Someone told me there's a girl out there, love in her eyes and flowers in her hair.
Oh, I need to make tracks for the room mics. I didn't do that.
Okay.
I'll just do it after this take, yeah.
We're just making a couple more tracks there.
Room
I mean, yeah, might as well have them.
Yep.
It's in the track. But
oh, how do I even? Okay, I got an idea. I'm gonna go.
So you guys can see, like, again, Simon is doing the most work here.
Oh yeah.
Simon's got the,
This is my 3rd string session this year.
Oh, this year. Okay, cool.
Since January, so I'm well rehearsed.
That's good. Yeah. There's different sessions that require different techniques, and so this one is good for
SV2,
the duplicating, track count, staying organized. Even though we're getting small chunks of strings, again, my overabundance of miking things,
how many
choices
do we have left in Pro Tools?
Yeah, that's the thing too. At some point, you might have to just turn some things off, but at least you can.
Let me just think this through here. So that'll be SV2.
Another reason sometimes just making the instrumental and just working with that allows you to do these big string sessions. And usually what will happen is the string recordist, the engineers, sometimes will just bounce them down anyways. They'll bounce down what they think the blend would be. They'll still give you the multi-tracks of the the individual mics, but they're kind of hired for just giving you full package string sounds. So to make it easy sometimes for you.
Oh, geez.
So Simon is still
almost there.
Like this.
I'm going to do SV 2.1 because then the next layer will be SV 2.2.
Yep.
SV for strings violin.
Strings violin. Cool. Good.
I think that works because then we've got strings SV 2.1. And then the 2 mics and then the room. Good. And
All
then
right.
I got to delete these groups that I made. Delete that.
And why are you deleting the groups there?
Because they won't include those room mics.
Right, there you go.
Because I made a group just for the close mics. So
There you
deleting
go.
those, making a new one. Violin 2, dub 1. There we go.
Excellent.
Oh my. All right, it's like playing a video game.
All right. Simon's defeated the dragon. There we go.
Here we go.
All right, stand by, Kelly. She's waiting patiently out there. Here we go.
Someone told me there's a girl out there, love in her eyes and flowers in her
It definitely sounds better when we're recording all those mics.
The rooms?
Those rooms are
Yeah.
Took my chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that they're all the same.
You want to just skip to 26? Or no, she's got 2 at at 18. That's all right. Let her go.
The what?
She's got 2 half notes at 18.
Oh, there are?
Yeah.
Oh.
No?
25, right?
25. Yeah,
25. Was I right the first time? Okay.
Should be until 25.
Yeah. So we're gonna go 2 bars before 25.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I was looking at starting at bar 18. Yeah. My fault. Okay. Here we go. Next 23.
wait here because she comes in. I think she's got like 6 bars of rest.
Yeah.
It's pretty satisfying to look at the names.
I think there's that part coming out of the, it is bar 25. Yeah, up there.
Yeah.
Take that, and there's a part where it goes to like, it sounds like there would be a good part for a double bass, but get the cello to play it and just like pitch it down. And just like get this like growl to happen. We'll come back and grab that. But I think it might already be, I mean, he's playing that
Cello's
part.
more of a part, so yeah, we could get him to do more.
Like what
So,
that synth bass is doing. Yeah, if he could double the synth bass, if that's possible. It's on the spot, but.
Did she do well?
Yes, she did. Amazing. I'm already just thinking others. That was great, Kelly. Fantastic. So let's do. Yeah, can we do one more of those? You're good with that?
Replace with SV2.
And there's when we get to around bar 26 to 34, especially the 34th, 40, that ascending part.
Yes.
The vibrato on that, you can dig in more.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that would have more, like that movement you're already doing. I just think make it a little bit more maybe.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
This would be a good question for like the students to have for Kelly out there. Like,
Yeah.
Kelly, how high is that C sharp for you? Like, is that like extremely high?
Good question.
The one that you have in, what bar is that in? 20 or 30?
No, that's like nothing.
In bar 30.
So she's saying something.
I'm used to seeing like that's the second ledger line up.
Mm-hmm.
When you're playing like orchestral music, you can see stuff that's like 5 or 6 ledger.
Okay.
I'm going to show them that. Like, so, yeah, that's, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, you said? Yeah, that's there. See that up there, that dude?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
for like references to see how high that actually is.
Yeah. You got that zoomed in there, Jeremy? Jeremy's doing. Look at him.
Front take.
Camera two.
We're just showing the students. We're showing the students what it looks like.
Yeah. My finger in the way?
Yeah, it's good to be familiar with like the different ranges. of
Yeah.
instruments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can point out. You want to point out because I can't say that. There you go.
So is that like?
Oh, I'm not sure the light can really pick that up.
That's okay. I was gonna just send these over to the classes, or we can like distribute them when I do it. Yeah, but that's a great.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just wanted to point.
So I was.
C sharp.
Right here.
So that's C sharp, Kelly. How much more room up do you have on the violin? Is that it?
There it is. Right there.
So once you hit that C sharp, like what is the highest? What is your range? Can we hear that note?
So this is a C sharp, but I can go.
Someone didn't
And the
hear
dogs
that.
are coming out.
I have a colleague who calls that the nosebleed section.
The nosebleed section. Oh.
See, I can at least go an octave higher than that.
Wow.
Wow, amazing. Okay.
So.
No, it is. It's always interesting though, because I mean, but Callie, would you say like obviously the higher, the more the intonation just it gets tougher to like judge that, or is that? Yeah.
Trickier, yeah. So great to have you come in. It's beautiful. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
All right. So we are gonna double
We're
this.
starting at 1 again, coming in on 2.
So here we go.
Someone told me there's a girl out there, love in her eyes and flowers.
Mark Swan.
You tell him to send it over. Is he playing along? That's cool. I love that Mark said that. That's awesome. Mark Swan wants to send some timpanis. He's like, you want some timpanis for this?
Probably at home playing along.
Playing along. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. Next section.
2 bars before 25.
25. Right here. Yeah. Yeah. Tiffany's? Yeah.
That's not really what timpanis. You're talking like
Kodo drums.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tiffany's like. Yeah, I know, right? It really. Woo. Man. Yeah, that's fantastic. Beautiful, Kelly.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, the vibrato execution was perfect. We don't need to that. I think that's sounding good.
Yeah, I don't think we need the triple of that.
Don't need the triple of that.
Don't make me make more tracks.
Yeah, I think. Why don't Kelly? You want to come in and listen to it? Sure. Yeah, I don't think the string players always get like, just stay out there, don't come in here, and then let Mark and John check it, listen, and then we can figure out if we want to try, if they want to do the Evan and John. What did I say, Mark? I did say Mark. Yep. Oh, that sounded like me doing my thing, but oh no, that was out there.
I just need
that's okay.
to.
You're good. You can take your headphones off.
S4, S5.
Yeah.
S5.
Thank you.
You were asking?
Did you want me to stay in here?
No. Come on and listen. Yeah. Like let's like, kind of get a feel for it and stretch your legs. It sounded so amazing.
Oh,
yeah,
good,
thank you.
I'm glad you're happy.
Yeah, no, this John, yeah, it was fantastic. Like, yeah.
Right. But if you ever do want like a specific down, up, or like or down.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he took the lead.
Thanks.
I told Christopher and he kind of looked at it.
Yeah, it's fun to work on this project and then like to work on the stage too.
I find the less players I record at once, the more I end up liking it sometimes. Like I even did like 2 violins sounds really nice too for certain arrangements, but for this one I feel like I don't know, doing it parted out like this sounds
for
good.
students that work on different students.
Instead of the quartet all at once, it's kind of nice to.
Yeah.
But.
All right.
Shall we listen?
Should we give it a listen?
Yeah.
Someone work on Channel Orange?
Yeah. Maddie Green is a grad like just before me. We worked at like as a mixer and did some of the recording with it. It's probably Maddie. I think that was who it was.
Yeah. Make sure we got the reverb in there.
Yeah, I think the reverb is.
Yeah.
Smoked my stuff and drank away.
Yeah, at the end we'll print the bass.
Made up my mind, make a new start. Going to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there, love in her eyes and flowers in her hair. Chances on a big jet plane. Ever let them tell you that they're all the same? Oh, sea was red and the sky was gray. I wonder how tomorrow could ever follow today. Mountains in the canyon start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to wake. Now watch out. Seems like the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose and it's starting to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach in a time. Meet you up there where the path runs she plays guitar and cries and sings. La 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 la. Ride a white bear in the footsteps of dawn. Try to find a woman who's never, never, never been born. It's not as hard as it seems. It's not as hard as
Before you're like, yeah, those roars are really bright. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't typically pay attention. I mean, I just turn on for loudness and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, very nice, you guys. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So every take that you did, how many were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 tracks every time there's a take of everyone playing together. And we did 3 of those, but then there's 2 extra takes of you, and then on the pits we did like 5, I think. So it gets a little out of control.
Well,
It's hefty.
well,
But
yeah.
it's all sorted nicely.
Yeah, Simon's making sense of all this this chaos here.
Listen, if
Yeah, it's really excellent. The other thing, if we got a little bit more time. Yeah, do we want to try the cello part, like just kind of following like the synth part? If Evan, if we can maybe do some on the spot arranging.
Is it another different part?
Yes, I think it would just basically be root notes.
Yeah.
What bar was that at again?
That was at like
we'll print it after.
25. Yeah. 24, 25. Yeah. It-
Or we'll just like do it later.
I don't know.
Okay.
Simon, if you go through it, let's can you start at go to bar 20?
Yeah.
And like we'll listen here and think of like just.
Seems like the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose and it's starting to flow.
Because we got this, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Like mostly doubling that.
Yeah. Do you want to hear what the notes are?
Can you solo that?
So at bar 21,
Bar 21.
it comes in.
So that's actually what Evan's playing, I think.
Mostly? Okay.
That he starts with that note. Yeah, actually. He's playing those 2 notes in those.
Oh, at 20? Yeah.
But
20.
he actually doesn't hold that one in 24. He changes there, and then he changes here. It's all different. So yeah, we can just get a pass of it.
And then see if we can pitch it down and see what is going to happen. Might be cool.
You mentioned you wanted to do that, like somewhat distorted. Do you want to do it
Oh.
analog or
Oh, no distortion.
Sorry, no distortion?
No.
I thought you wanted to like kind of replicate.
No, I just want the line. I mean, we can do that later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just checking.
So
Cool.
we're going to do a cello part doing that line and then pitch it down or
Yeah, let's just try that. And then if we can do the pizzicatos, but with the.
I think they want to maybe pitch it down, so maybe we'll do it in like.
Yeah, you can do it as high as you can play it, that line,
Oh.
like those notes, and then we're going to pitch
Mother
it
tracks.
down. Does that work, or like what range?
More
I wanna
active
try,
audio
like, the
and
pitching
enabled
down could be
tracks
cool,
and
or we could just have it
available
like,
voice
what's the
over
lowest he can play it?
Yeah,
We could do one of we could do a pass
That's
of
all
each.
good.
Is that
I
too
will.
complicated?
Yeah. I'll just freeze those. There's no plugins on it.
All right, 2 notes. Yeah.
And then maybe.
He's into this at 96k as well.
Yeah.
And then he'd land on the E. Did you want him to?
The session's
Resolve?
probably just.
Chorus 2. Yeah, it might be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would
No,
be
actually,
good
it's
to
not
continue.
that bad.
Okay, so yeah.
That'd be worse.
That's definitely on the high end, though. Let's be real.
Could work.
Have you guys been here before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Could work.
I think
Yeah.
Evan has.
Evans has?
I
Okay.
think he has.
Yeah. Okay. Did you guys go to Western? There. Yeah. Okay. What years were you? What do you?
2012, 2014
Huh.
for grad school.
Grad school. Okay. Cool. Awesome.
I ran out of tracks and voices.
Awesome,
So
we did
I
it.
just freeze the submix and then I'll just do a new one for the cello.
Okay. Yeah. We don't need room mics. I mean.
No? Okay.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah. Let's not go.
Okay.
Like, just keep it simple.
Sure thing. Thank you.
Yeah. Then if we're out of tracks, like, well, I won't worry about the bows and
I'll
like
do I'll
the
do the
pitch thing.
P12 though.
Okay. Yeah.
Might as
P12.
well. The P12 was
If you got,
nice.
you got the ability here.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be cool, like, if we can, at the end of these tracks, we could put, I want to try a couple, like, the open, like, or whole notes of, like, E and just a couple notes of the chords, maybe. And then let's see if we can pitch them down to some stuff that we want later. We just do some, like, sound design kind of things, maybe. Then you just play that at the end.
Nice.
And then we'll see what happens when we start pitching those things down. But that's it.
Are you still tracking the malt sign?
Yeah.
Cool. Just checking.
Cello 1B. And that's the room. SC. What am I calling? SC 1.1 cello. Does that work? SC 1.1.
Just having that door open, or is it?
I think Lee might have wrestled it into.
Yeah, he tried to reset it.
I don't know. It feels better.
It feels like something's more cool.
But I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it might
But
be
made the door
the
being
door.
John
open.
moved away from the fan.
John was just like.
Oh.
I was blocking it.
Yeah.
John, what have you done for us today? Jeez. Oh wait,
cool.
you did the string arrangement. Cool, yeah.
Just
Okay.
just staying cool. All right.
Yeah, I think bar 21, Simon.
Yep. We can do that.
And then he's
Is
gonna
he
go,
out there
I think
already?
he's just gonna go to the end.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And we're gonna try more like up, like higher,
Higher,
stuff. So that we
and
can
then we pitch it down. Yeah, we'll see what it does to that and like what kind of growly.
So sorry, you said bar 21?
21.
Yeah.
Cool. I
That's
guess.
when he's in.
Yeah. So I'll start at bar 19.
Yeah, that'd be best there. You can come in if you want there. You don't have to hang out there. I think we got spacing options here.
So oh, standing up now.
Oh, let's see.
Is that Jeremy Winter? Evan looks like Jeremy Winter.
Winter.
Kelly, do you want to try?
Oh, I'm very happy standing.
Like your mask.
I say it's good product placement if you were on that chair right there. It would've been
So are we ready there?
Yeah, I think Evan's just getting settled there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let me know you get there, Evan. Yeah, so we'll start at 19. You're in at 21. Exactly.
The first pass I make, like, for example, 25.
Yep. Yes.
I'm not exactly sure what roots to play.
Oh.
I just looked at it.
Okay, we're looking at John's.
Bar 25.
E and.
Bart, so Evan.
I think that's right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
21, you're basically
Thank you.
alternating
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
E to B. So it's E for 2 like tied whole notes, and then B for 2 tied whole notes, E for 2 tied whole notes, B for 2 tied whole notes.
Okay, perfect.
And then the same until.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then it holds on E. Whenever I think you actually play an E at bar 20, 26, 27, 28, 29. Does that make sense? Yeah, 29 going to 30. You just hold that E there. And then at 31, you jump to an A. And that's when you do like the A for 2 tied whole notes, E for 2 tied whole notes, A for 2 tied whole notes, E for 2 tied whole notes.
Do we want to?
Does that make sense? Or
You want pencil?
We can come and write it in too.
There's a pen if you want.
All right, we're just camera angling. John's coming out there, Evan. Say it again.
I only need it for like. So yeah, so a lot of it. Is it good way to write down a note?
Yeah, and so people that are watching and listening, typically, like, you don't start writing new string parts on the spots. I mean, you got to ask if the string players are okay with that, and like usually, want to make sure that they're, yeah. I mean, if you've got the time and they're flexible, but you definitely want to be able to go out there and actually write them in sometimes.
Kelly, would you like a chair?
I'm really good. Thank you.
Literally no one is using that chair though, that's right.
Spot over there.
Okay.
Tis the season.
You're good with dissonant, pretty dissonant, right? Because if I'm playing.
Oh, it's also the 610 beat. I know.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, yeah, that's all
I
right.
had it right on the other one.
Yeah.
610 malt. Did I write that on the cello? I did. LA 610 malt.
Yeah, okay, I think that. Alright. Should be weird. That's great. We'll try it.
Sorry, man, I'm changing your work.
All right, stand by.
Ready to go?
Yes.
Seems like the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose and it started to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach it in time. Meet you up there where the path runs
Keeping? Yeah, that's excellent. Perfect. Let's just do one more of that.
Awesome. A question for you guys.
Yes.
Do you want no vibrato because the synth is just flat?
I was thinking about that. That's what I was thinking about. I liked what you were doing, but I was thinking, like, what if we just tamed and did no vibrato? That might be kind of cool. Like, that staticness might be actually kind of interesting. Can we try it? Yeah, so like none to less vibrato. Yeah. Perfect. Good call. All right. Here we go.
Seems like the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose and it started to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach it in time. Meet you up there where the path runs straight.
Yeah, very nice. I think that's it.
Do you like the flat one?
I don't know. I think once we pitch them down and kind of see how it sits, I think it's good to have the option. I'm not too sure at this moment. I mean, the vibrato gives it a bit more movement, but I'm thinking it might be a thing where, right now this is parts going through all the same string kind of sounds, and I'm thinking more like treating it like the synth bass or something, like fuzzing it out, no room mics, kind of pretty dry. Like that's how I think. So, but yes, perfect options. It's awesome job. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, why don't you come in? You want to pitch that down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're good there, Evan. Yeah, thank you. And just go ahead and send it out its own set of tracks if that's possible. Like if you want
9 and 10, okay?
Or is it
11,
can be
12.
just mono? Yeah, if you're 11.
Oh
12.
yeah, here I'll just do 10.
Yeah.
10. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and you can mute the room mic and let's see.
I think actually, sorry, I'm just gonna look at something. Oh, the malt is out of phase.
Oh, interesting.
Completely, 180.
Guess we should have checked.
Ooh, double. That's all. Yeah, put that fuzzy thing on the what? Oh yeah.
I was just gonna go.
There you
So this is that's one octave.
One octave. Yeah, just gotta sneak it in there. Yeah, we'll see.
It's good for some of them, but not all of them. Yeah. Maybe I'll do no Foreman.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Too much. Do so well on Autotune doesn't do so well on bass notes, does it? It's not working anyhow.
No license. That's okay. You can just sneak it in there and just texture it up. Let's see.
Seems like the rock of the gods got a punch on the nose. It's a flow. I think I might.
Oh, I'm curious about.
Why are we so heavy left?
Because I have panning on the thing, but it's coming out mono, so it doesn't matter. Kind of cool with the room mic in there too.
Yeah, the room. Take it out there, probably.
So take this out here?
Yeah. Leave it out there. Let's see.
Okay.
This is a couple transition moments when it gets descended.
Yeah.
Right there.
Probably not on the last note.
Do you want the sound shifter would treat it a little bit?
It would be better with sound
maybe
shifter.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's what I would like. I would almost think about that could be one where you use the sample, like sound shifter or like sample rate convert, like you actually just import it in at a lower
Like a
very speed kind of situation. Elastic audio.
There, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Sweet.
That's perfect. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I think that's good for us. Jeremy, you can see if anybody has any questions for everybody. I'd like to get a picture for everybody with everybody if that's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. The question period.
Oh. Some of the notes, but some of them are cool. Like when it really you get down to this kind of like couple moments. So definitely an automated like that last little 5% of spice there.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, something that's kind of, and then like how it sits with the synth bass anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's kind of neat. All right.
Lots to play around with now.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it's been something that's evolving. Now it's just got to get mixed. So I got to do a mixing class, and somehow like we got to put it all together. So.
Can we hear it?
Yeah, from beginning to end. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now?
I mean,
Yeah.
not right now, but like when you're done with.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
want to listen now, we can get let the questions come in.
Yeah.
While we're listening to
Yeah.
it, then we can do an outro once we're done.
Yeah. Let's listen to it one more time. Or like, do we have questions?
We don't have any questions in yet.
So
Okay.
that's what I was saying. If we play it back, we'll have some questions that come
Let's
in.
go do a picture. And then, or you guys want to hear it one more time, top to bottom?
Everyone just stand in the frame that's here, and then I'll just screenshot it.
Well, let's do it out
I'm
by the
just kidding.
mics.
No,
Yeah,
we'll
on
do
the
a real
floor.
photo.
Yeah. I like
Just-
watching the delayed moment. It's so weird.
So trippy.
Yeah, it's like I was doing that when I was teaching once, and I had the monitor there, and it was like
Yeah, I've to see if there's any questions.
back in time, present time.
It is very strange.
By anyone watching it, no
On the
questions.
YouTube, because all the students are watching.
Yes, but anyone watching the stream, I was just wondering if they had questions.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like there's any.
Cool.
Okay.
Joel Harder's
Crew
got a
8.
Question: what was the process in writing the string section?
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess the best part about it was like worked on it with Dean and Simon and here before, so I kind of knew the structure of this thing. So just going into it, like I had some ideas based on what Sav did vocally and kind of having just things in my head, and then I just kind of started with like I think I said it in our when we talked earlier,
Yep.
but just like starting with kind of like a string pad, just an orchestral thing, and just kind of getting ideas, playing different things out, and then trying to figure out what slowly starting to like put it into break it down into different instruments. And yeah, I don't know if there's not really like a process I have other than just like messing around, seeing what sounds good, and then usually trimming back things that are unnecessary. But yeah, and then moving it into MuseScore and trying to hope that it did it properly, and then sending it to Kelly, and then hopefully she's not like, this is terrible.
No, it's never terrible. Never.
So Dina did ask a question.
Yeah, there's a question from Studio One. Are we going to try to minimize the amount of tracks you have total? Would you do a print at this point or not?
We'll probably do a bounce of everybody. Maybe just do one print of the strings with the reverb just to have. I like the way it sounds, but once it gets some mixing, usually leaving a string session. If you hire strings, and then usually sometimes depending on the size, you actually get a string engineer, and they have a good balance. You might just take and print the strings with the reverb, like dry, wet, and that might work in your mix, and you might be good to go. So.
Yeah.
So we'll probably print at least a mix of it. It's always good to have a reference mix, and it might be good just to do a bounce of the strings and then with the reverbs too.
Also, the right off the bat, you can listen to, because we have 2 mics on every string pass, 2 mics on every close mic, plus the extra mult one. So we actually have 3 channels per player. So we're going to probably cut that down to 1.
But yes, yeah.
And then so that's 3 less per take, and there's 5 takes. So already that reduces it down.
Yes.
And we froze it, so we could potentially, if we like it, we like it. But
cool.
So we got a question from Brandon. This one's for John. He's asking, when are we getting new Emmanuel music?
TBD. Yeah, I honestly don't know. I think in the next couple of months. So yeah.
Excellent.
Is it?
It's the label, you know.
Never know, man. Yeah.
Is it normal to use a bunch of plugins for live strings, or is it more just a mixing decision to see what sounds good?
We'll talk about that in class. Mixing decision.
That's a class.
Yeah. We're gonna talk recording. We actually didn't even do the class yet, which we'll do on Monday, Tuesday on recording and mixing. But it depends on the genre and the style. Classical and jazz is very authentic. You don't do a lot of processing. It's just very natural. The players do it all, and it's the mics of the recording. More contemporary stuff, you can do whatever you want to do with it, plugins and stuff like that. So it just depends on. This is kind of toggling that line, like I always kind of like juxtaposing things together, like that cello thing that we did against kind of something that's pretty natural sounding. And I think that's this kind of song. It's got some modern kind of aesthetics to it. So yeah, we'll talk more on that in class. That's a good question, but I think that's the short of it.
So it looks like I'm good for questions here. If we want to do a little wrap up.
Yeah, we're gonna do the picture.
Let's just say we'll close the stream down. So if you just want to close it out, say.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. If you do have any other questions, shoot me an email, or for any of the players, we can relay that to them. And yeah, thanks to everybody for all the amazing effort. The interns for being here till 2 a.m. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button. I'm not counting about the likes or anything. Just saying. So, anyways, not a contest here. Anyways, that's it. Thank you. See you later.
Buttons,
Yeah.